Greetings, everyone, and welcome to an especially heroic episode of Monster Party. Monster Party! Monster Party!
Monster Party! No. Yeah, that's Monster Party.
Yeah, okay.
And I am lubricated here.
Yeah, all right. We're off to a good start. Let's get to it.
Yes.
I am Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Stroth.
And I'm James GONIS.
Okay,
whoa.
just hold off
man.
for a second, please.
I thought it was like 60 minutes.
Well, no, because people, that's a whole different thing.
Okay.
That's about making people uncomfortable, and we do that the latter part of the show.
Okay, all right. Go. Hit it.
Okay. Now, our topic is great. It's really good, isn't it?
It's phenomenal.
It is very heroic.
It's stupendous.
It's really one of the linchpins of any kind of adventure film or TV show. And what we're talking about here is...
Are you going to introduce me?
In a moment.
No, it's coming. Wow, you really want to do this show.
No, I didn't know. I thought you were, being sort of punitive for me interrupting. Okay.
No. It's a build-up.
See, normally,
go back.
you see what I didn't say to our guests, we do this. I decided not to do that this time. And look what's happening.
Well, I thought that she had done this show so many times that she knew what the thing was.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I have no memory of it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get to this. What is our topic, sir?
The topic is horror and sci-fi heroes.
Horror and sci-fi heroes!
Heroes.
Dun-dun-dun!
Heroic heroes.
And speaking of heroes...
The best and worst.
Yes, best and worst. And
speaking of heroes...
there's only one...
ad.
Yes, nice. James is here, too. But for our guest, there was really only one person that we could get for this topic.
The entire world.
Who would answer the phone.
It was an email.
It was an email, fair enough.
And she's amazing.
And she's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
And
third-time guest.
3 times the charm.
We're talking comedian, actor, producer, director, goddess, Sue Murphy.
Sue Murphy!
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us, Sue.
It's a pleasure.
It's
James.
great
Thank
to
you so
see
much.
you again.
Nice to see you,
It's
Larry.
always great to see you.
Sean, you look delightful.
You were with us on our fantastic Star Trek episode.
Not so good.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
I know.
absolutely
And then you were with us on our fantastic, highly controversial, overrated, underrated episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
only controversial to you, really.
Well,
because I don't think you were understanding the concept of overrated enough.
Yeah, you were a little
That was an
confused.
issue.
and you know what,
true.
Sue, I am going to go out of my way to say I see your side. I see your point because
all
I
the
This is
strength.
You really went out of your way there.
therapy. No,
Yeah.
it's like if I thought it was an
hear you.
attack on something
But-
that's precious, but I understand, and I thought about it.
So
and
differing opinions you consider attacks.
no,
Interesting.
No, it's
Okay.
a difference of opinion, but she gave me something to think about, and I thought about it. But
Your
I'm
Own self-worth? Or?
no, but I'm actually ready to move on.
Okay,
All right, let's do
That's
it.
good to hear.
Let's do it.
And one thing I would like to point out to our listeners is this is still the only podcast that you do.
That's absolutely correct, sir.
That is
Are
correct.
you serious?
Exclusive.
I know you've been asked by other podcasts, and you've turned them down.
Hundreds,
You've
right?
said no.
Hundreds.
I have been requested on other podcasts because perhaps they've heard me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to see the person who had taken Larry on and his opinion of ET.
Oh.
But no.
But here your family. Here
I'm
your-
very selective.
Yes.
I'm very selective.
That's
Cool.
very
If
wise
there's
of
not
you.
Chinese food or Jack Daniels, then I do not
Done
go
and
on.
done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or a light in the dark rat over in the corner.
Yeah, we've got our
got
usual
props.
props here
Yeah.
to get us in the mood.
The pumpkin ghost, the
Yeah.
Monster Party sign.
Okay, let's
Okay,
get to it. Come on.
so heroes.
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 Best and worst.
Now, wait, are there any ground rules? Because
Okay,
heroes can.
Good question.
It's
That's
best
a very
and worst
good question.
heroes, and I just want to know because They're all over the map.
Yeah, I would say this is not superheroes because we've covered
yeah.
superheroes for the most part.
Yeah, if you have one or something you want to kind of give a honorable mention to, that's fine. But Ultraman and Kamen Rider, these Japanese tokusatsu heroes that I like, but that's like a whole nother episode.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
well,
this is like
save
heroes
that
in the classic kind of Joseph Campbell tradition of like the normal everyday man or woman who's thrust into a fantastic situation
And they rise or
encounter
fall
supernatural
to the
forces,
occasion.
right? And that kind of
Someone on my list may not fulfill those.
Oh,
Well, okay,
I'm
you know,
intrigued.
yeah.
Is it me?
Yes, it is. Let's make out.
Okay. All right. Come on.
Still making out.
Okay. So heroes.
Fried rice. Mm.
So why don't we get to it?
Well, yeah. Let's,
Sean.
I think
okay.
Sue should go first since she is the
Sue.
guest.
Sue,
How about that?
take us out of the gate.
Yeah.
Okay,
What do you got?
I may have hurt your feelings on this one.
Oh,
I hope
impossible.
so.
Impossible.
I hope so.
But I would say my number one greatest hero is from Night of the Living Dead.
That is a
That's a very
great
good one.
choice.
And I can't think of his name right now. Wait, hold
Ben.
on.
Ben.
Yeah, Ben Hauser.
Yeah.
That is
by-
my number one best hero of a horror film.
That's good.
Played by Dwayne Jones.
Dwayne
Yeah.
Jones, a very tragic hero.
Yes,
as it
because in
turns
the
out.
fact that you were rooting for him all along, he's an everyman in the worst situation, and then in the sort of Shakespearean moment that it becomes a tragedy, I think would be top on my list.
Well, also
love
he's the
that.
one who holds everything together in that film.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one who takes charge. He's the one who all the different conflicts with all the other characters.
He's the level head, too.
He's
Right.
the
Yeah,
one
he never
level
loses
head.
it.
Larry,
Yeah.
how do you feel about this? Did I step it up?
I actually agree with you there.
my gosh.
It's funny. I did not have him down on my list because to me, a hero, it's like, there's self-sacrifice and stuff. But the more I thought about it, it's like, he...
What's the biggest self-sacrifice you can get?
No, you're absolutely right. So here we are. We're talking about Night of the Living Dead, directed by George Romero, classic zombie film, and it's shot in such a beautiful kind of almost documentary style in a way, and you really feel for this guy because all he's trying to do is he's trying to help out, he's trying to survive, and he's trying to have everyone else survive as much as possible.
And this is 1968, and you've got a black man as the lead of the film.
True.
And
Well, that's all the talk about the way he dies in the end, know?
Right.
Am I ruining
right.
Sorry, did I say spoiler alert? By the way,
Oh,
when it's
great.
a movie from the 60s, can you actually say
60
spoiler alert? If someone says I haven't seen it, you
know
just go,
what?
wait a minute.
That's true.
I'm with you.
You're with you. Yeah.
You know what? I still like to throw that out every chance I can because there are there's some younger
there
listeners.
could be some young listeners, yeah,
That,
but
Right, well,
you
edit
know.
it out for God's
No,
sake.
We're not.
No,
We're
no.
How young do you have
Life
to
is
be?
unfair is what they need to learn.
I would recommend because I know a lot of these young kids out there. They're all, hey, there's this color film, Night of the Living Dead.
Do the young kid voice.
I'm just saying.
Hey, Daddy-o.
that you should-
Yeah, how do the kids talk today?
I'm just saying, Sue.
There's a movie, and I heard it, and I think it's in color.
Okay, they don't all talk like
and
that.
how
Let's
does it
Black and
lie?
white is so lame.
Okay, guys. Okay, these are stereotypes. Not all kids talk like that.
Yes,
but there
they
are
do.
No, they do not. No,
Most
no,
of them do.
No.
All right,
They do
Larry,
not. They
make
do
your
not.
point. Make your point.
My point is there are a
What's
bunch
your
of younger
point?
listeners who may not have seen this, and I would say, although Sue has spoiled it for you, I would say
I
go
haven't.
and
If
see.
you edit it,
No, we're not going to. No, we're not going to.
it's too late.
it's too late.
Too much work.
I would definitely recommend it because there's so much. All the characters go through these peaks and valleys. I mean, it's just an amazing film. And there's a moment in this film where you sense his frustration. He's so angry. He's so pissed off. And because one of the other characters is kind of messing things up, and he grabs a hold of him and says, "Sometimes
that
you
guy's
make me
name?
want to feed you to those things out
yeah,
there."
the old man who the
Mr.
grumpy
Cooper,
old Mr. Cooper, right?
yeah.
Mr. Cooper. Mr. Cooper is kind of losing it. And I can totally.
He's a
get-
horrible person.
Well, it's like a cross.
He's a terrible person.
The group of people is like a cross section of society in a way.
Yeah,
you have.
and he's the guy who's just all about protecting himself.
Not just about himself. He's got a
but mostly himself.
No, Matt,
self-absorbed, protecting his family above
First.
anybody else's.
Even his
family,
wife
everybody
is
else,
not down
yeah.
with.
I would say that.
I think he's a complete asshole.
No, he's an asshole.
Look, I agree with you, Sue, but that's what makes Ben so great, though, is he's trying to get everyone to work together, and his idea, his plan of boarding up the house. Sounds great to the young guy and his girlfriend. They come out, and then they're trying to take care of Barbara, who's kind of nutty at the
Yeah,
moment.
she's lost
she's kind of lost it. But I do agree with you. I think he is a great great hero.
And what I love about him too is that Barbara's in there, and then he shows up, and he kind of is able to get this beautiful, sweet spot of being very much in charge, but also every once in a while being sensitive to her and realizing that she's gone through some trauma and trying to talk her down and calm her down.
Yes.
But she's too far gone.
He's got these...
And he even tries to be reasonable with Cooper, too.
He does. Yeah.
Usually in vain, but she tries.
There is a really touching moment. It's something, it's like, oh, what kind of business have you get? When Ben gets Barbara the shoes. Remember that? Because Barbara has lost her shoes, and when her car and her brother gets taken and kind of eaten, and then her
and
car
she
gets...
says, "Donde está mis zapatos?"
Oh, you saw the Spanish version?
No.
The Spanish version's great, but there's an English version too.
Noche de...
¿Qué es la carne?
No, for listeners, Sue is making she's making a funny. It's not. No, Barbara does not do that.
Oh,
but
I thought she was Spanish.
Barbara loses. But she loses her shoes, and so she's walking barefoot
played by
all over
Judith
the place.
O'Dea.
And she's fantastic.
Classic Spanish actress.
Now, Romero has gone on record by saying that the casting of Ben, that he did not intend to cast a black actor.
Ah, I didn't know that.
And yet...
That's true.
It adds so much more to just the fact that he is black, but that's never addressed in the course of the movie.
Yeah, he's just a strong character.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I love that. Yeah, that is a great choice.
Good job.
Thank you
Sue.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm just sorry. I'm a little... James spoke, and I didn't know what to do.
I
had a little moment, and I went, "Oh my God, James!"
I was waiting for an end, Sue.
Yeah, you know what?
Our
That's
boy-
never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Our boy is growing up. I'm telling you.
I gotta tell you,
No, he gives us what for a lot
I
these
tell you,
days.
he does. He just
Yeah.
tells you just better pipe down, mister.
Ben was on my list too, Sue.
He smacks us.
And my list.
Wow.
James and I high-fived
On my list too. Yeah.
Yes,
No,
and
that's a
mine.
great one.
All right, there you go.
All
All
right.
right, who's next?
Moving on.
All right, well, I got one. This is another classic horror
Is this
film.
plus or minus?
This is plus. This is definitely a successful,
One that you like.
a successful but ultimately tragic hero, and that would be Father Damien Karras from The Exorcist.
Yes.
Also on my list.
Because here you have a priest who throughout the first, the beginning of the film, he's doubting his faith, and it's after experiencing and encountering the possessed Reagan that after he goes through all this, he, like a good hero,
State Farm is there.
Actually, and if he had said that, he would have left and been into another location if you've seen the commercials.
So I'm going to contact State Farm for a proper,
But that's product placement.
compensation.
That's product
True, that's
placement.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
Why aren't they
Karras
contacting my people?
Karras makes the ultimate sacrifice, though, in the film by letting the spirit of the demon go into him and release Reagan and go into his body. And I think, even though Max von Sydow's character, Father Mirren, of course, is essential in getting the exorcism going and doing all that, I think it's Father Karras really who's the true hero.
Yeah, that's what it says on my list.
Wow.
Max
Look at that.
Right?
I was into Max von Sydow or Sydow.
Sydow.
Sydow. Max
I always
von
thought it was
Sydow.
Sydow too.
But do you think Damien Karras, played by Jason Miller, do you think he's more the hero than Father Mirren, though?
Yeah, but I just like Max von Sydow. I just think I just like his presence. Whenever he comes around the corner, just the shape of his head makes me like him. He's just like,
Right.
I mean, I liked him in Hannah and his Sisters. I thought he was the hero of that horror movie.
James, what do you think?
Anyone else?
I love Hannah and her sisters, and but I agree. I agree that Father Karras is the one who goes through the development. He is the titular character. He is the exorcist of the title.
Right.
Really, he's the one. And what I love about him also is that he finally, what pushes him over the breaking point is he gets royally pissed off, and he's just like, let's go.
Come into me.
Yeah, that's
Come into
awesome.
me.
Yeah.
Right. But also,
I've said that so many times. And the thing is, sometimes it doesn't work. You gotta have the...
It's got to be simpatico. You got to tap the back of the head.
Yeah, but Matt.
Yeah, that's
you
just
think
courtesy.
Of sex as an exorcism, don't you?
Let this demon out.
Conjuring the devil.
Right, yeah.
And so for the listeners who don't know, The Exorcist
Of course.
from 74.
But also...
About just a demon possession
Right.
of a young
Classic
girl.
film.
What year was it?
74.
74. And also,
William
what's
Friedkin,
interesting, though,
director.
is the Father Karras character, though, in an even more kind of tragic way, makes another appearance later, in a way, in Exorcist 3, Legion.
Yeah.
So and it's kind of like the soul of Father Karras. And it's
Another good movie.
Another good movie. And kind of interesting what they do with that. But yeah, I think, definitely that character is a hero of horror for sure.
I think one of my favorite things about that, though, because I think the complexity that you have someone who is doubting their faith.
Right.
Yeah.
That is
right.
adding that complexity to it, as opposed to someone who's directly very pious. This
Right,
is this,
right.
there's no questioning. Makes it a much more interesting.
But that's what Max von Sydow was like. Max von Sydow, there was no discussion. He is strict, all
don't
the way.
discuss things with massive
No,
Cito.
no.
You don't.
But Father
walks in and
Karras
tells you what it is.
He has issues. There's a great
And also,
moment.
but
Yeah,
When she
sciatica.
throws up right on Max von Sydow's glasses.
No. The
that?
moment is when
That
Father
was like
Karras
when it
is.
hits him right in the eye. That was pretty
No,
good.
Father Karras is talking about his faith, and he
money
does
shot.
this. There's this great line where he says, "Sometimes I just see a man on the cross."
Right.
He doesn't
But
actually
also
see the
that's
Son of
what
God.
William Peter Blatty he really was fascinated by, that kind of a good and evil belief, and he was really fascinated with that whole struggle and conflict.
Well, he was a Jesuit himself.
Right.
Yeah. I have to say, though, if I was doubting my faith and then a little girl's head spun around,
Right.
I think I'm like, okay, I'm on board now.
Well,
yeah.
But I would also like to point out, for exorcism movies, the vomiting in someone's face is the money shot.
That's true.
Yeah.
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 That
But
would be
still,
him.
Sue, still, I'm just saying, you could say, logically, you could say, well, she just regurgitated what she had down there and just spit it out. It's not really, the thing that I like about the film is, for the longest time, they try to make it seem like you're not really sure if she's possessed. You're not really sure. It's not until you get to a certain place in the
Sure,
film.
sure.
And that's the one thing I really like about that. Friedkin didn't want to tip his hand. He didn't
Right,
wanna
like
say,
the spider thing, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm
Right,
glad they
right.
took that
Yeah.
extra scene out.
Yeah.
Except it's in the special edition, which
Right.
It's interesting to watch
you know,
I thought it was
after
a
the
crab.
fact.
I thought it was a crab.
well, regardless,
could be a crab.
it's one
Yeah.
of those, Sue, it's one of those things that Friedkin decided, I'm going to take this out
Too
because
much.
it tips its hand. It's like, oh, it's too much.
Yeah.
Like in E.T., the whole scene with E.T. in the bathtub. I'm glad they originally took that out. But for the special edition,
Thank
they put it
God,
back
because
in.
it just would have made that movie longer. But anyway,
That's what we need. Yeah. Let's add some more
I'm
screen
just
time.
saying, listen, they could have gotten away with a crab walk if we established early that she was a gymnast, and then that would have been fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, good point.
Maybe.
Good point.
Yeah, if we had her walking around like that before she was possessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Mom. Just getting cookies.
Who's next?
I'll take one.
Go for it.
How about this?
Good or bad?
This is another good one.
Oh, okay.
I got mostly good ones, but
Me too. It's harder to think of bad ones.
but
I do
That's
have
true.
I do have a
got some,
bad
though.
one.
'cause I have a few, but it's like you're always trying to you want to like these characters.
Let's
Yeah,
all do
yeah.
a good one, and then we'll
Okay.
try to do a bad
We'll
one.
try to do
Yeah.
it. All right, great. Let's get in our Jim Jams. Okay, here we
Okay,
go.
Where's the Jack Daniels?
This is right next to you, my
Oh,
friend.
I'm sorry, Jameson.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong plug.
Hit them all.
Pretty soon
We want 'em all.
Pretty soon we're all going to be in onesies. Yay!
So here we go. This one is from the 1968. It started with 1968's Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Franklin Schaffner.
I
Yes.
have
Where are
heard
you
of
going?
that.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Now, a lot of people think the hero of that film is Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
But in my view, the real hero of that film is Dr. Zira.
Yeah.
Matt.
Into it.
Yes.
Dr. Zira.
Zira.
Because
Bitches
Ta-
know what's going on.
Thank you.
I agree,
Right.
and I agree because I had Taylor on my worst, as in not a successful hero.
No, all he's really trying to do is just stay alive.
Yeah, and he ends up shattered by the end of the movie.
And he
anyway.
ends up in Beneath, destroying the
right,
earth.
right. So, he's
you
not-
can't really,
Yeah, he's
know.
a failed hero.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Zira has the most to lose. Zira and Cornelius, they've got this nice little life. Yeah, life on the Planet of the Apes isn't all that great. Their politics are a little fascistic.
yeah.
But,
Yes.
she had a kind of a comfortable place.
Fascistic.
Fascistic, right?
Like
That's how you say
fascism, yeah.
Okay.
that. As in fascism.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
What? Look, I'll prove it to you.
No,
I'll get on
no.
dictionary.com.
No, that's not what. No, I didn't say it like
Okay,
that.
so it's like a totalitarian
I get it.
regime.
Right.
I get it.
But she's found her little place with Dr. Zaius where they can kind of explore science, but they can't go too deep.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, here you've got Taylor
Yes.
shows up from
Yeah.
the fucking, far past in a
Yes.
spaceship and
Well, that's
can
what he
talk.
Yeah, and that's,
that's what he claims.
That's what he claims.
That's what he claims.
And in the ape world, to them, it's like that can't possibly
flight,
be. Yeah.
they don't even believe in.
No.
And so she really takes great risks to help him.
And you know why?
A number of times.
She loves science.
She loves
wants
science.
to
She wants the
know.
truth
She's
to
a
be
scientist.
shown.
Inquisitive ape.
Yeah.
She wants to know the truth of
Yeah, and
stuff.
she doesn't understand how can the truth be harmful?
Exactly.
That we should be
she
able.
can rock a tunic.
She does.
true.
And I have to say that
Doesn't she get the kiss?
she does. She gets the.
She gets so
yeah,
she's
at the end of the
not only
movie.
that, not only is she smart and the hero, she's the love interest.
Yeah.
I know we got the Raquel Welch look-alike whatever that we get.
Oh
there, but
no!
she's
Don't.
she's a
Linda
moron.
Harrison.
Linda
Don't even get me
Harrison.
started.
Nova.
I'll take her over Raquel Welch.
Well,
Me? Oh yeah. No. She.
Yeah,
I love
I think
brunettes.
so. Yeah.
and also,
She had me at mute.
James is back.
oh my God! Wow!
That was so Carson Dry. That was great. She had me at mute.
But I will agree with you 100%. It's funny because when I was doing this, and I originally thought of I thought of Taylor, then I thought about it, and like Sean said, Taylor, he
Kind of an asshole,
Well,
you know.
he-
He's like,
it's mostly about survival.
Yeah.
he does destroy the Earth. And
In
then
the
to
sequel,
go
yeah.
even a step,
there could have been another answer to
Look,
that
look,
problem.
And, no, and Matt,
Right?
Matt, to go a step further
Okay.
with Dr. Zira, not only do I think that she's a hero of that, but then she goes on with Cornelius.
Well, she
and,
leaves the planet,
they leave the
and they go
planet.
back in time,
And yes,
they come to the 70s.
Exactly. And then all that she goes through, and she tries to explain, she tries to be honest, she knows she's in a completely different world.
And she's in danger, and she has to.
is.
And now it's what's great about the character development in that film is that now it's her hiding the truth
Yes.
to
but
protect herself. but justifiably.
I love
Isn't that her right there?
That is.
Yes,
yeah, we've
we
got
have-
the
we have a
Migo
little picture,
figure right
yes.
here.
the Migo.
Yeah. She's
That are some small child hands that sewing little outfits in a third world country.
Is she?
That's so nice.
she's pretty hot though.
Matt,
for an
is she-
ape,
Matt,
I have to
missing
say.
a arm.
Is she missing a hand?
Is she? Oh, it's upstairs or something like that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
All right. Okay. Wait a minute. What have you been doing with her?
Look,
hand?
look, Zira and I have an arrangement.
Okay, but I'm totally into Zira. I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree. I'm giving you.
All right.
I'm giving you a big thumbs up.
All
So
right.
far we're agreeing here. Okay, James,
Yeah.
how about
Good
you? You give us one now.
Well,
Nope. Anyway,
This is a character and a role and a performance that I think has been largely underrated, and it's from Jaws, 1975.
Ah,
Roy
yeah.
Scheider.
Yes.
Roy Scheider is
Roy
Chief
Scheider.
Brody. Because what I really love about this character and Scheider in it is that he's just a guy trying to do his job.
Yes.
And he gets hit with one thing after another, and he's not perfect, and he screws up a lot. I mean, obviously, the challenge of hunting the great white and everything that happens is treacherous and almost insurmountable. And then finally, at the end, well, spoiler, but if you haven't seen Jaws, then, what the hell.
You have
you.
no. Come on. We recommend that you see it.
But throughout the whole thing, he sort of keeps this more or less level head. I mean, he does freak out at one point, justifiably, but he's still completely functional.
oh, when he says he needs a bigger boat.
No, actually, it's when he takes when Quint takes the baseball bat to the radio, and Brody just freaks out at him.
Right, but it's true because he's someone who's so out of his element, and because it's the three of us, Quint and
Hooper.
when Quint's out of the picture and when Hooper can't be found, it is just Brody has to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
And he really is like your classic kind of like small town sheriff.
He's also the one that in that movie you really feel the weight of the situation on him.
yeah,
Right.
it's kind of like three
More
of
than
us.
anyone else.
Because he's the one who's making decisions that are affecting. He's the one who's
The
saying
community.
shutting down the
Yeah.
community. He's the
Right,
one who
right.
said this, and he's doubting it all the way along. This
Oh,
would
yeah.
also go with the other hero they're talking about, the Exorcist.
Right.
Is that it's the reluctant sort of am I
Reluctance.
doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
know,
that, as an
right.
as a member of the audience, you're sort of like, that's who you connect to. You're following the movie along with them.
Sure, right.
One of my favorite scenes actually isn't an action scene in Jaws, but it's where the three characters on the boat are getting drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Come on,
yeah,
show
when
me the
you
way to
hear
go
about
home.
being on all the sharks
the
come
Indianapolis,
the Indianapolis.
and then they're showing their scars, and they're singing "Show Me the Way to Go Home." And at one
Right.
point, Scheider's just sort of like smiling, because he's drunk and he's just along for the ride in a way. But it's a moment where he can sort of relax for 1 second, and I love that. It's just like he's a dude.
Yeah, and a scene that I really enjoy in that movie that really captures again, the weight that he's feeling throughout that movie is when this is now, after the initial shark attacks, and now he's just looking at the beach and checking out everything, and he'll hear someone scream, but it's just some kids playing in the water, and you just feel like, man, that's your day, just looking at this entire beach. Where is the shark attack going to happen?
Or he felt a lot of weight when he was in the hospital and his wife was still in a bathing suit.
Hope spring's eternal.
Nope.
Honestly, I cannot look at the ocean without thinking of a couple of those shots from Jaws, and by extension, Roy Scheider.
Yeah.
Is that why you chose to live close to the beach?
Yeah, yes, indeed, it is. No,
He's hoping it's a will for death.
Do you just look at the beach with binoculars, hoping for the shark attack?
But I would add on that. I wrote down Richard Dreyfuss from Jaws because he's just because
As a hero.
it was more because I wrote it down because I was thinking of him in Close Encounters.
okay.
So
okay.
I was thinking of actors that have been in multiple
Sure.
movies that
Okay.
are either this or this they play that kind of role.
Okay.
Well,
But I don't want to take you off that thing, but I had
because
wrote down.
now that you mention this, that was on my list too as one of the worst heroes.
I was going
Really?
to say, because to me,
Roy Neary.
the kind of
From
hero
Close
that-
Encounters of the Third Kind,
Encounters,
played by
yeah.
Richard
Yeah,
Dreyfuss.
and I think the
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
But I'm not saying I was
From
making a list.
1977.
I wasn't saying he was
Nice.
great in that. I was just making a list of like,
Right.
oh well, Richard Dreyfuss has played this kind of role over and over.
But I think the
again.
definition of a hero in the classic sense to me is a hero who is proactive and not reactive. And I think
Roy Neary is reactive.
and for the whole movie.
He's reactive, and I can sort of overlook that if they're a protagonist and you're following them and they make decisions that are heroic in their circumstances. What he does, though, is he gets so affected by these UFO sightings that he freaks out.
he has a mental problem.
He has a mental problem. He
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
nuts. He essentially alienates and then abandons his family.
Yeah.
And he's got like a
Really?
That's where he is a hero.
You're gonna no, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
wait,
You're gonna
no.
turn off
am I
Terry
wrong?
Garr
I
at
know.
hottest?
Terry Garr in
yeah,
that
really.
nightgown. I mean,
Yeah.
Come
Oh,
on.
I know, but
No, you got something wrong
And
with your
yes.
marbles.
The kids are brats and they don't want to see the Ten
Die
Commandments.
alone, Matt. Die alone.
they're not brats, James.
No, they are. No, the kids are horrible.
They're being
portrayed,
kids.
They're portrayed as unsympathetic, and
That's true. They are.
I think he was waiting for the UFOs his entire life to
Yeah, get the
Finally.
F out of here.
But
Finally, I get to make a mud castle
You know,
in my
I think-
playroom.
And it's almost more like an escape in a way. He's escaping from his life, almost like shucking responsibility
Yes.
to go off with the godlike aliens and have fun
Whoa,
and
godlike.
play with them instead of like
Engage his family.
being heroic, yeah.
And
taking
Yeah.
responsibility.
Haven't we all wished
Yeah.
for that at some point?
That's a cop out.
You bring up a very good
And
point.
he hangs
Well,
out.
but you know what? That put in one of our heroes that we don't like. Nicely
Yeah,
done, James.
like you said, it's
That's
a successful
two
hero.
for you.
Wow.
The last
Wow.
3 years.
I-
You
it's
mentioned
excellent.
him.
I'm impressed.
The
You got
topic of this is James.
Hey.
Yeah. Bong, bing, bong.
you got
Right.
got a best and a worst.
There you go.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
them both.
Larry,
you know-
I'm looking at you.
Well, it's funny now. Everything that you guys have been talking about. Now I've been thinking about. I've been having second thoughts about the heroes that I've put down because I'm thinking about
Perfect.
What,
Maybe
know,
you
and
got
now
the
I'm-
premise incorrect.
Hey, okay, I'm just
Should
gonna
we
go.
start the
I'm-
show over again?
No. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with it because I
right,
do
go.
think of this guy as being heroic, and there's nothing like when I hear the music.
Okay.
You know,
The sound
it
of
makes
music?
me feel heroic. No, I'm not gonna do it just yet because that's gonna give it away.
Oh.
But he is proactive and he moves forward and he's tough and he's smart.
Okay.
Using science and archaeology. I'm talking about
Science.
Indiana Jones.
Oh.
In
Yeah,
the
sure.
4 films, we've got Raiders of the Lost Ark from '81, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones Last Crusade, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now,
I would
now look,
say the first one
no,
he's the
no,
most
guys.
heroic.
No, I know Matt's taking off his glasses. I'm not saying.
Thank God it's just as
That's when you know.
Because he's getting ready to
I'm
fight.
doing a glasses drop on this one. because I got some
look,
basic issues.
not.
I'm taking
each-
off my girdle now.
I'm not saying that each of
I
these
swear to God,
films
I'm taking off this cock ring.
not
Keep going.
not each of these films is the greatest, but I will say number 1, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Man, this guy is heroic, from the very beginning. I mean, and if you think about it, it's not like this guy's doing this archaeology stuff to steal a gold idol and try and sell it on the black market. No, this guy it's for research to share with the world to try to find this item and bring it to a museum. And so I just feel that everything that this guy goes through.
Well, yeah, obviously Spielberg and Lucas were going for a very classic, old-fashioned
But
kind
isn't
of.
sci-fi?
Well,
I don't know.
it's,
I think
it's
that's
horror.
Well,
It's definitely horror.
Is it
Is it horror?
You know-
Is it horror just because of the melting
It's su-
Nazis?
It's supernatural.
Well, it's supernatural.
Well,
yeah, it's completely
But
supernatural.
I will say this. I think he's a flawed, deeply flawed hero because, as Dana Gould pointed out to me, if you think about that first movie especially, he might as well have not have been there.
Right.
You know-
The whole thing, I mean, none of what he does has any real
Any
consequence.
effect.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
I would say Marion is more heroic than he is.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's, thrust in the middle of this thing, and she's the one who kind of,
Yes, but the ride at Disneyland is not called the Marion Ravenwood ride.
Why-
It's called
Well, that's
the
yeah.
their
Indiana
mistake.
Well,
Jones.
that's
their
the
mistake.
Indiana
They
Jones
don't want crowds.
ride. No. There's always crowds.
That's how you
There's-
keep
there's
the
al-
lines
Sue,
down.
Sue,
You name it
yeah.
after
There's,
women.
Sue, there's
Keep the lines
always
shorter.
crowds there.
Why don't you just call Disneyland Misogyny Land?
Yeah, why don't you?
I think the guy is very heroic. I see your point about the first movie. If he didn't even exist,
That's
you
interesting
would
because,
still have
yeah,
the Nazis
yeah,
would have
the
still
Nazis
found.
still get it.
Well, but still at the end,
He makes it harder for them, but they still get
They
the arc.
still get it. And
Yeah.
if he had just stayed at home,
Yes,
it would have resulted in the same thing. It would have opened the Ark of the Covenant, and everybody would have been destroyed.
Hey, but he was moving forward. He was trying to make things happen. He was
Sure, he was trying.
He
Yeah.
killed a couple Nazis on the way.
He killed more than a few.
So, so then we can agree that Belloc is the hero. Of the movie.
No,
Ah, that's flawed, deeply flawed hero.
the Frenchman who's helping out the Nazis. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Belloc.
No,
Belloc.
no, he's
Yeah.
not. He's
The guy
not a
whose head
hero.
explodes at the end.
Yeah, but he's not a hero.
No, I'm-
You're so full of shit.
I was joking.
Okay,
Don't
we're,
do that.
hey.
Hey, what kind
Joke
of language
land.
is this?
Joke land.
Okay.
Okay, but you know what? I want to tag on yours if I can.
Well, you're next.
Tag that
go.
I
shit.
will tag on with Harrison Ford in Blade Runner
As a hero.
as a hero, as a really dark, deeply flawed hero.
I would say
Deeply flawed.
He's on my list
Deeply
too as a
flawed.
flawed hero.
Yeah, but
So when you say-
but still working his way through all his anxiety and all his
Yes.
doubt and all this sort of.
I would say
trying
it's
to
Roy
figure
Batty
thing
is the
out.
true heroic character.
I would
in that
agree with
movie.
Sean. I don't think Deckard is actually a hero at all.
He's in over his head from the very beginning.
He's actually the villain of the piece.
In a lot
You
of
think
ways.
he's the
yeah.
villain?
He's the
can look at
villain.
it that way.
He's the one
Maybe
who's.
I like villains more than heroes.
Well, don't we all?
Yes, I know.
But
Carrie, I love you.
I think the point of the point of the movie, really, in some ways, is that the replicants, of course, are more human than the humans.
Yeah.
and
They're sentient creatures,
okay.
and he's hunting them.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
okay.
But ultimately, doesn't he come to an understanding
By
Do
the
you feel
end.
Like
Okay,
that?
yeah,
But that
yeah.
is-
And he's also not really wanting to hunt them. He's forced into it. He was in retirement.
he's a gun for hire.
Yeah.
and it's just a job to him. He doesn't want to do it.
Right.
And it's true. I think Batty is the noble one. Batty is the one who just wants to cling on to life as much as he
Okay.
can. He's fighting to cling on to life because he knows his life is
but
short.
clinging on to life doesn't make you a hero.
No,
And Batty is not a hero because
Not at all.
he kills innocents.
that's the thing I want to do. You guys are on. No, Sean. No,
I think he's
you're
more of a hero than Deckard. Though.
Well, Deckard,
No,
Deckard
he
does.
kills innocent people, Sean.
Deckard-
And as a matter of fact, there's a line at the very beginning when they're talking to Deckard, and he actually says, "Oh, they killed several people to escape."
Oh,
from
I know,
And,
yeah,
and it's
no, I
like,
know.
so when you get this shit like, "Oh, these replicants, they're all nice and great,
Well, no,
and
but who
they're
would you
heroic."
say? Who would you say then is the heroic character in that film? Is there a heroic?
Well,
character?
that's
I
what's interesting. Perhaps there isn't, and to have a film like that has so many vague characters
Right.
in that about what their roles
Maybe
are.
it's,
You know what?
maybe
You
it's,
know,
maybe
that's what
it's
makes it
How about-
interesting.
yeah,
It's a
that's
lot of
what-
gray.
yeah, that's
I
what
would
makes
say
it such a fantastic movie. It
maybe
doesn't
it's
have black
Sebastian.
and white.
No,
Yes,
no,
yeah,
maybe it's
sure.
Rachel.
or Sebastian.
Maybe it's
He's the hero.
Rachel.
I wouldn't say it's Rachel.
I think
Well,
it's
Rachel
Lorraine.
saves Deckard.
I think
You
it's
know?
the snake.
I think it's Gaff because he has a good sense to just stay in the background.
That's true. That's
no,
true.
I've thought
I
about
think it's
this.
Dara Hannah's
No, it's
nylons.
Chris.
No,
Chris.
barely
Actually,
holding
it's
on. Daryl Hannah's nylons are just barely keeping it together,
Leon?
and yet they
J.R.
stay on.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sebastian.
If
yeah.
J.R. Sebastian is really probably the most humane,
Well, he's the most
nicest character in the movie.
And for,
Yeah.
for people who don't know about Blade Runner, it's this really cool story about this guy who is supposed to hunt
Wait,
down.
hold on.
these
Explain Blade Runner
replicants.
for a moment here.
These replicants, and there's this one character, the Sebastian, who is a designer. He's a creator
Yes.
of like toys
Well, he
and
is one
animatronic.
one
and
aspect of the.
he is
of
one
the
aspect of-
genetics
exactly.
design of
and he,
Nexus.
at his home, he has created a bunch of toy-like replicants.
yeah.
Right.
And ironically, he's suffering from a degenerative aging disease.
Right.
And
But Sue,
unfortunately,
you're right.
none of the stuff he has is mint in package.
That's true.
because he made them.
Yeah, well, that is true.
So you're
Yeah.
right, though. I mean, Blade Runner is literally one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
Me too.
But you're right. It is ambiguous though, and it's and who's the hero, who isn't, and I think that's part of the.
That's
appeal
part of what.
it.
That's part of
Yeah,
the appeal.
Absolutely.
And isn't that refreshing, really?
As a gun for hire,
as this beer.
Deckard still, even though Deckard's reluctant, he still gets the job done. I mean, he has to do some detective work. He gets his ass kicked, and then finally, he does kill a couple of replicants in the line of things.
Yeah. Well, he has to mostly for survival, though.
Right. Yeah. But
And
he still
Sean
gets-
Young
they're
looks
not gonna-
good.
She does. Oh yes.
Everyone all right?
No, I'm not.
Wait, hold on. Take a moment. Sean Young.
Maybe her hair is the hero of the film.
Yeah,
When
her
he-
hair,
when he
yeah, would that be
unravels
the-
it.
I want to I want to write a Blade Runner Stripes crossover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Stripes. I just thought of this because I just was watching this.
Another hero, right?
Yeah, Stripes is the most unrealistic movie ever made because you
No,
have,
it's
you have
ridiculous.
the two hottest MP officers in the universe, Sean Young and PJ Souls, are the MP officers.
Yeah, and
I would
within
be in the army in a second if I knew that they were.
and within
MP
like
officers.
30 seconds of meeting them, they're breaking into generals' houses.
and having sex with Bill Murray. And
Yeah,
Yes, I know.
Yep. You know what?
Yeah.
Just there. Hurt the army recruitment. Go ahead.
It was a propaganda
I guess you don't
tool.
like America.
That's great. I guess you don't want to protect our nation. Good work, Sean.
Yeah, terrorists win
Nice.
again.
Okay,
No
so
recruitment
thanks, Sean.
now.
So
Thank
look-
you.
so
That's
look, if
not
we're-
the army.
If we're doing a head count here, so we're kind of split here.
Yeah,
we don't
I mean,
really
it's-
we don't all agree that Deckard is necessarily a hero.
I don't think he's a hero.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I
agree.
just thought it was an interesting conversation. You mentioned him.
I
I
do.
thought
I
I'd
think
mentioned my
that's-
favorite
that's good.
sci-fi movie.
I think he's a hero. He's a deep one.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
All right.
All right, Sue. Good job.
I agree with that. James. James
thank
and I
you,
are on the
Sue.
same page.
Hey,
Wow.
Yeah,
simpatico.
maybe a little cocktail after this. Yeah.
You know,
Maybe you guys can talk about Star Trek.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
meow.
I'm telling you,
I've got lists
this
here.
could
All
be
right,
a
Matt.
whole new future for you, James.
Sean,
All right.
you're on.
All right,
All right, Sean.
All right, I have one that I think this one is interesting because this
Is
one
this
is
a best or worst?
a successful hero, and it's in a movie that really is a lot about the power of the individual hero, and that would be Jonathan E., played by James Caan from Rollerball. Because if you think about it,
Nice
this
choice.
is a future world where we're all run by corporations. Sound familiar?
And we're talking about the original
You hear that, America?
from 1975.
1975, and this is a movie where there's no more war, and for the most part, there's no more crime. Society gets all their violent urges out by watching this extremely violent game called Rollerball,
Yeah,
which is
gladiators.
kind of like a gladiator type.
It's like roller derby,
Right.
But fatal.
Yeah,
Right.
but when you cut off the jam, it's cutting off your head.
Yeah.
right. But the idea is that this is run by a corporation.
Right. Is it multiple corporations though?
Well, there's different corporations in the world, and,
Yeah.
and
They're the countries now.
Yes.
right. And Jonathan E., played by James Caan, he's on the Houston team, and the idea is that
Houston. I didn't realize
right?
it was a Texas team. That's
Yeah, it
upsetting.
is. It is.
But the idea is that it's teams against each other, and the corporations do this because they're trying to get across to the society it's like the futility of the individual. There's no individuals here that win; it's teams that win. But the problem is that Jonathan E. has become such a successful player on his team that he's starting to stand out as an individual.
Yeah, and that's a big no-no.
Hero, and that's bad. So John Houseman, who runs the corporation that is sponsoring
Energy,
the Houston team, he's kind of suggesting to Caan, you should probably retire now. We'll do like a little tribute to you, and you should retire. And James Caan's like, I don't know about that. I kind of don't want to. And he's kind of, why are they ask me to retire? And so as it goes on, and he's being reluctant to do so, that now they're making the rollerball even more violent.
They changed
they're
the
trying to
rules.
force him out of the game.
Yeah,
And so-
they changed the rules kind
changed
of
the
in
rules.
midway of the
And
season.
so now people in the team start dying. Like James Caan's best friend he gets brain dead from
Yeah, of course,
from
because
injury.
they jam his head in front of the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
The roller ball.
That's right. So the whole thing is
Thank
that so they're doing everything they can.
Copyright 1979.
They're doing everything they can to get James Caan out of it, but he's like he won't do it. He's going to stick in this game. Then there's this final game. It's like Houston against the New York team, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like it's no rules. I mean, there's just
Which is
no
ridiculous.
time limit.
No, it's like MMA.
No substitution.
Worse.
It's like,
Worse than
it's
that.
a literal gladiator game.
Yeah.
But Jonathan,
And they drive motorcycles too.
Yeah, they
That's
drive
another
motorcycle.
thing.
It's like they use spiked balls. It's this crazy, violent gladiator game. But Jonathan stays in it still, and so it's got a thing where it gets
Very
down to like
powerful.
the.
How popular would that
But does
game
he
be if
realize
it were
that-
now?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be fantastic. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Wait a
it
minute.
hasn't
Hold
I'll get
on
a
a second.
meeting.
Edit that out. We'll franchise it. But is he doing it for a cause that
Well,
makes
yes,
him a
because
hero?
he's-
That's what I
think
mean.
so,
Is
but
or
I
is
think
he
he's
doing it for himself?
No, I think he's doing it because he's doing it against the corporations. He's trying to show that the individual is what matters.
But I don't think it starts out that way,
No,
Sean.
it doesn't. He's very comfortable. They're offering him like all these corporate luxuries.
But the best thing is there was the woman that was with him and was taken away, and she was
She's
given to
Maud
an
Adams.
executive,
Right.
And
And
then
they're throwing other women
It was
at
like
him.
one of the last
That is
things
a
they
nice
thought.
executive package.
What
right
they
there. You
what
get
they
the- you get the
decided to
lady?
do to try to get Jonathan to change his mind. Okay, changing the rules isn't going to do it. We're
Right.
making it difficult. No, it's not going to do it. Let's give him back the woman we took away from him.
Right,
And
right.
I think
So they
at
do
that moment,
everything they
Sean,
can.
at that moment when he gets her and he knows, okay, something's up, man.
Right,
This
right.
is because now
he
he
doesn't
has
know
what
if
he
This is
wants.
just a
but-
typical day at Fox News.
That's what I was about to say. Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly.
no,
got,
let's-
he got punished.
okay, let's not
and all
timestamp
those
this.
women, all those women suffered, and they got paid back by Bill O'Reilly being put on vacation and given $25 million. I
Yeah.
think that's a
Sure.
wonderful
He,
thing.
He should be in rollerball.
He should be a rollerball.
But so the idea is that it's like individual does matter in the end because it's like they start chanting Jonathan. Now it's like it's going to change everything because now the individual matters. So, but that I think it's a good
My
example.
only issue is Jonathan as a chant, not great. You know what I mean? Jonathan.
That's true.
It just is a little bit.
But it's good because that's a movie where in the story itself he's already a sports hero, but then he ends up being a hero for society.
Well,
develops.
and it's a mixture of, because you're saying, is he doing this for a cause? And there's a lot of personal things that happen to him to,
Yes,
to
exactly.
push him to that breaking point. Like, yeah, his best friend is killed, and he's pretty sure that there's, this wasn't just an accident of the game.
Right.
And then, his woman taken away. There are a lot of things that push him to the edge. And so if it might have been personal at one point, it just eventually just throws him over the edge
it
of
becomes
making...
a bit bigger than him. after a
Yeah, it's
while.
bigger than him.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say for listeners, if you haven't seen this film, it is made in the 70s. It has kind of a 70s flair
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
It's so much better than the remake.
I
It's
agree,
a
Matt.
great movie.
I totally
Yeah.
agree. This is not. It is not like so flashy like MTV, but there is a lot of great.
No, it's a cool movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
there is some intense violence in it.
Yeah.
It is not for everybody, but it does move, and it's exciting. It's dynamic, and
I think
would-
a
I would
younger
agree with you.
audience, a young adult audience, I think would still respond to that movie.
But also, do you find that a lot of these heroes, you're saying that someone was killed or this, it seems like a lot of these heroes are born out of that sort of situation.
Well, yeah, that's your classic. It's the whole kind of rebirth and transformation
Yeah.
kind of idea
Batman,
of heroes.
Mad
yeah.
Max.
Mad Max,
Right,
yeah. Oh,
totally.
yeah. Which is on my list.
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love Mad
I,
Max.
mean, I
Like
think
to-
you have to go. In some ways, you have to go through hell in order
Yeah.
to kind of like
Emerge.
be transformed. into a
original
true
Mad
hero.
Max.
now,
with Mel
and
Gibson.
I'm only talking about the original because although I do like Tom Hardy as the new Mad Max
from the later.
But that's a whole different
from Fury
thing.
Road. Fury Road. It's
Fury Road
it's a
is
pretty
with
weakly
Charlize
written
Theron.
movie, in my opinion.
we're talking
Yeah,
about the
but
2000.
It's visually
It's
fantastic.
visually fantastic,
2015.
but as for the character of Max, there's not really a lot there. Although you go back to Mel Gibson,
the 1982.
yeah, and then Road Warrior, especially those two,
Right.
and you really get
Is Mad Max Road Warrior's the first, right?
No. Mad Max,
Mad Max
is
is the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the story where you really get the origin story of Max, where
Right.
he comes up against these bikers and they end up killing his wife and his
right.
son, and
That's-
then the
yeah.
rest of the movie
Society,
is,
the
is
fuel
falling
is,
apart.
kind of
falling
falling.
apart,
Yeah.
but it hasn't fallen apart yet.
Yet,
And it's a
right.
very different movie than all the sequels.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it still takes place more or less in a structured society that's just beginning to sort of fall apart at the edges.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
really
but what
interesting.
about when Tina Turner got involved with the
Oh, that's
wig,
when I
the
checked
wig
out.
budget? There
no,
was a
now I
major
was
wig
done.
budget there.
I was done.
Was
man.
that Thunderdome?
Oh
Yeah.
God, I hate
Yeah.
that movie.
That is
Beyond
But
Thunderdome.
you like the hero Mad Max.
I like the hero Mad Max, especially in Road Warrior, because what I love about that is that you get this guy that is broken and he doesn't want to really be a part of anything. And he comes upon this group of people that have this refinery where they're being attacked all the time by the barbarians of the area, the great humongous, and they're constantly being attacked, and they need someone like Max who has been able to survive in this wasteland for years. And they need someone, and he's not into it. He just wants to live
wants
his
to
own.
load up with some gasoline and get out
get
of
the
there.
hell out.
But
Right.
what he does is he sees that some people try to escape, and he kind of tracks them, and he goes and kind of
He tries to help them.
He rescues them with the idea that, look, I'm going to bring these people back and kind of return them, and hopefully I'll get paid for this. That's,
Yeah.
So
Right,
and
right.
then
And that's when they take the opportunity to ask him, look, you don't have to be out there with the dirt and the filth, and you could be with us, and we could be a family. You could have a life again. And he's not ready for it. He's got too much tragedy.
baggage.
Too much bad.
But before
baggage.
that, there's the offer. There's the offer where they're trying to figure out, how do we get out of here? How do we leave? And he makes that offer. Hey, 2 days ago I saw a vehicle that could haul the tanker.
Right.
You want to get out of there? You come talk to me.
Yeah.
And then they make the deal. The deal is he's going to go out and get this vehicle to bring it back.
Yeah.
And once he does that, it takes a while, but once he does that, everyone thinks, oh my gosh, this guy's on our side.
Right.
And so he's heroic. But that's when you get back to what you were saying. No.
No, I'm done now. I've taken my gas.
Exactly.
I'm going to get out of here. And he tries to escape, but of course he's attacked by all the rest of the
hooligans.
The hooligans out there. Hooligans. I love the word hooligan. Such a great word. But the wasteland hooligans just fuck him up.
Yeah.
He ends up being rescued by the copter pilot who takes him back. And then you got that moment where he finally realizes, and he's beaten to shit.
Oh, he's messed
He's
up.
really messed up, and he decides, no.
But he looks worse now after all the alcohol.
True.
True.
No,
Yeah.
but
Right?
Yes.
You're with me on that,
Oh,
right?
without a doubt.
I
But
know,
get-
'cause
get-
when he was younger.
Yeah.
But getting back to you, Matt, he is messed up. He's got a scar. He can't see out of his eye. His leg is messed up. But then he realizes at that moment, it's like, my car is gone. What options do I have? Maybe the best thing to do is to work with these people.
Fight for something bigger than me.
And at first, there,
Right.
the Papageno, the guy who's the lead guy, is not going to want to do it. And then he says, "Okay, let's do it." And that's when you get this whole big chase.
And that's, I think, part of being a true hero too is recruiting others to your cause.
True.
Yeah.
With your kind of determination, your personality.
L. Ron Hubbard.
True hero
That is
of our
science
time.
fiction.
But
Recruiting people, that fits your hero.
best,
But-
worst, probably.
But
worst.
now with Max, what you also get in those movies, specifically in The Road Warrior, is that, it's not just him being this gruff loner entirely, because you have the feral kid who he takes a liking
Right.
to, this little kind of like wolf boy who runs around, and he's able to negotiate his way out in the wasteland and survive because he's tough. He's this tough little kid
Tough
with
little
a
hooligan.
boom. Tough
Yeah,
little hooligan.
that's exactly.
Tough
Les
little
Miserables
hooligan.
stole
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he's got this jagged edge boomerang, and he's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
yeah. And Max takes a liking to him, and he ends up accompanying him on that final mission.
Right.
And it's great. I love the interaction between those two.
Yeah, it's cool.
We
Yeah.
need a hero that we don't like because we like all the heroes.
Okay, anyone got one?
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple.
Now, have you, Larry? Have we? I don't want to.
I do, but I am going to rely on Sean to throw me his name, because I was thinking about this, and I talked to James about it too. I'm talking about the movie Gremlins. The main
The Gremlins?
No,
I did not think you were going to go to
no,
Gremlins.
our
Me
main
neither.
character,
Zach Galligan.
Zach,
Galligan,
yes,
yeah.
and I guess because the story follows him. It's like he's the one who gets the original gremlin. He's the one that, the creepy gremlins, kind of happen because of him, and
So he's the villain.
well, the funny thing is, as you go through the film, you made a comment about Indiana Jones. Well, he doesn't really do anything, but with this guy, it's not that he solves the problem.
It's more like Gizmo's the hero.
Gizmo is the hero.
Yes.
So are you saying Gizmo's the hero?
Yes,
Yeah.
Gizmo is the hero.
I agree.
Very convincing.
No, you're right,
right.
because Gizmo. Think about it. In Gremlins,
He rises to the occasion.
He does.
and
He does
defeats
rise to the occasion.
yeah.
He's a little creature, and he knows.
He's like a little furry hooligan.
Yeah, no, he's not a hooligan. He's curious. He's inquisitive. He likes to look into things and
He
watch
likes
cartoons.
soccer games and getting in fights.
No.
that's not Gizmo?
No.
Oh, that's
but
that
Gizmo,
Russian guy I thought named Gizmo.
No, but his own, but I'm saying that
They call it football there.
I would
thank
agree.
you.
He's,
Thank
he's
you,
more
Matt.
of the hero than
Thank you
Zach.
for
Zach
clarifying.
is more
Zach
reactive. He's more a pawn in
and
this plot.
Exactly, and Zach actually causes a lot of problems, and
So,
Yeah.
but then is he not the hero? Because if he's not the hero, then you're just not liking him as a character.
No, it's not Zach. It's Gizmo.
Yeah, so Gizmo is then I would say Gizmo is the hero. But I was thinking that when you're following the protagonist, I thought that Zach
but
was
that's
the
true.
Doesn't always work that way.
Yeah,
though.
right. The
Yeah.
protagonist isn't always the hero.
But Zach in the movie is sort of propped up as being the hero. I mean, he is called upon to do some heroic things.
Like,
doesn't he get the sword out from the living room wall and
Yeah.
start to fight Spike or whatever
wow,
his name is?
find something in your home.
He's surviving. He's
surviving,
He's
yeah, I
reacting
know.
to the situation. But
Yeah.
I would
If you
say-
remember, his mom has a real vicious fight with one of the gremlins in the kitchen.
So the mom's the hero.
and
Sure.
she,
Why are you confusing me?
She throws
the
one.
microwave is the hero.
The microwave is the
what
hero.
about-
No,
Wait a minute.
no,
What about
no,
that
no.
sandwich that was in the kitchen?
No,
That's a hero.
no. It's because the microwave could not do that on its own. It needed to be. She needed to put the gremlin in there.
That's true.
She needed to press the button to make him explode. The
Right,
same
that's
thing
true.
with the blender. So the mom is more of a hero.
I think you guys missed a really good hero sandwich joke. The first of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, that went right over my head.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
So look.
all right.
Okay.
Hero.
All right.
Interesting,
So maybe
okay.
I got it wrong. That wasn't.
But is
like
that a bad hero?
No, you
That's
didn't.
not a bad
Yeah,
hero.
yeah,
It was
I
an
mean,
excellent conversation starter.
Okay, now
All right,
let's get
there.
a bad hero.
I want. Oh,
James.
I got one.
Oh.
Or
No, Sue,
Sue.
please.
Sue.
James.
No,
I
Sue,
defer
why
to
don't-
James.
Or both of you at the same time. Go.
No. One.
Hero off.
Sue, ladies first.
No.
George Clooney, Tomorrowland.
Oh.
Ooh, I never saw that.
Well, you shouldn't have.
No.
Really? You like that movie?
I like Tomorrowland. but
I mean, look,
Tomorrowland?
That movie,
Yeah.
I
that
thought no
movie
one
is-
liked that movie.
The movie
No.
is definitely on the preachy side, but there's some cool stuff in it.
There is some
There is cool
There's
stuff
some
in it,
cool
but he's a
stuff.
horrible hero.
Well, he's not really the hero. No, he's not really
no,
the
and
hero.
the
It's
girl's
the,
a.
the
she's
little
kinda more of a
robot.
hero.
It's
The-
just boring.
No,
I don't think it was boring.
I can't believe that movie is good.
This is kind
I'm
of
sorry.
hard.
I haven't
not
seen
bad.
it.
You know what?
And I'm talking out of my
It's
ass.
not bad.
No.
I haven't seen it.
No, you're not
I'm
talking.
not saying it's the greatest movie.
It
but
doesn't
it's-
look good.
It's neat.
It's fun,
there are
though.
some neat
I don't
things
think it's
in
even
it.
worth discussion. James, go on.
I'm actually holding out for Frontierland, so I didn't see Tomorrowland. But,
James, go.
Do a Knott's Berry Farm joke.
I would
Wait, they're
vote,
coming out with Frontierland?
Okay.
sure.
All right.
I would vote for the
No, that's
kids.
right after the Matterhorn.
Worst, the kids from the Blair Witch Project, because
I had it on my list too. Well,
You know,
Heather is
Heather
a
in
terrible
particular.
hero.
Well, they're victims. They're not even.
They really
no one's
are.
a hero
Yeah,
in that.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
know, but ostensibly you're following along. And you're sort of supposed to root for them, or at
Well,
least
I don't know. I think you're supposed to be just like look at what shit happened to these poor people.
These
I mean,
poor
I think that's
fuckheads,
what
yeah.
the point
Okay, well,
is.
at least you're supposed to care about them. And
Okay, I
couldn't
did-
even
That's
do
true.
that.
care
No,
about
I
them.
was supposed to care
I
about
did-
it, but you
I did
never,
care about
ever think they're going to come out like there's a hero
Yeah.
that potentially is going to save them.
No one's gonna
You're
survive.
just waiting for them to get knocked off one by one.
because,
Yeah, yeah.
because I never liked them.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, you kids are going in here, you're asking for it, you're idiots, end of story.
But see,
I don't know about.
I would disagree with that. I did care about them. I thought that they
too.
were flawed, just young kids, douchey, dickhead kids
Yeah.
who think they know it all.
Yeah.
And so I cared about them, and they came off realistic
And
to
actually,
me.
and Heather in the movie, she turns because
she turns, yeah.
she thinks she's the know-it-all in the beginning. Then she finally realizes, oh my god, and so far over my head. She apologizes to all her
Yeah,
friends.
and I really love that
I mean,
scene.
that-
Too little, too late for me.
Really?
Wow, you are tough.
Jeez.
Wow.
I like it.
Deserved
I like it. A
everything
man,
they
And
a
to me
man
be-
who stands by it.
Wow.
Wow.
And you don't have any kids, right?
No.
Okay, good.
God,
All
no.
right. Wow.
So let me guess, you liked Blair Witch 2.
None that he knows of.
Oh, James, man, he's
All right.
he's seen the world.
He's seen the world.
Frontierland.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I have one that's like this guy is definitely a bad. He's not a hero at all. He kind of fucks up multiple times in this.
So
movie.
this is a bad hero or
This is
a
a
flawed hero?
I think bad. Hero.
Bad. Okay. All right.
And that would be Lewis Creed.
Yes.
Played by Dale Midkiff in Pet Cemetery.
Right.
This guy is responsible for all the horrible things that happened in the movie.
He's worse than Zach Galligan.
He is. Because this, in Pet Cemetery, the idea is that this cursed supernatural cemetery can bring pets back to life. So, of course, when they're
And people.
when their 2-year-old toddler is killed,
Gage.
Gage is killed. He's heard from
Fred Gwynn.
Fred Gwynn, about the cemetery, so he's gonna
Like Mad
bury
Libs.
Yeah. So he's gonna bury Gage in the cemetery, and of course, what happens?
All right, keep going.
Gage comes
Come
to
on,
life.
give me another gap. A noun.
So Gage comes to life and starts killing everybody, including Denise Crosby, Lewis's wife.
Right.
So what does Lewis do then? He buries his wife, and then she comes to life and kills him.
Yeah.
It's like everything that happens is his fault, and he's a terrible hero.
There's not one good move the guy makes.
Right? Yeah, he's a complete fuck
But
up.
don't in horror movies, isn't that generally it? I mean, very rarely does someone come out the other end that's a hero. I mean, that's why.
Well, it
I mean,
depends.
even in Night of the Living Dead, we're talking about ultimately didn't come out the other side.
No, but
There
but
are
that's
some.
kind of making a statement, which it's so you're sacrificing the hero coming out and on the other end of everything with making sort of a
And they're
and
and
like
they're
a
strong
societal
characters.
statement.
The thing about Lewis Creed is that he's very weak. He knows that's wrong, yet he does it twice.
Yeah, it's human nature.
He's weak and
But it's the classic like, oh, I know what I did wrong.
right.
And sometimes dead is better.
I
I
love
just
that
thought of
impression.
one. I just thought of this is big star movie turn. Brad Pitt in what's the zombie movie? The zombie Z.
Oh my God!
Oh, no, not-
zombie!
World War Z.
World War
World
Z.
War Z. And
World
he
War
wrote
Z.
them. No, because he actually keeps fighting through. Now, whether when he
Oh,
walks through them quietly and they're all walking around running into like bumper cars, I say we edit that out. Fuck it. Move on.
I hate that movie so much.
He's not really a successful hero.
Okay,
though, too.
but
mean,
I
he
have
does-
my favorite one of all time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have
Oh.
my favorite
But
one of all time.
we're still on bad ones though, right?
No,
that's okay.
we're kind
That's
of
okay.
mixing it up.
All right,
here.
so I do have a bad. I have one that's going to be a controversial one.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I
Ooh.
think so. At least,
I'm into
with a lot of our listeners. And this is a show that I never really enjoyed that much, and I know people fucking love this thing. I think I enjoyed the movie that it was based on more, and that would be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I have watched that show again and again and again, and I just don't get it. I don't understand
TV show.
the TV show. I liked the movie okay. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. But especially the character of Buffy
Okay.
is an uninteresting character.
But in the movie, she's interesting. I mean, I
She's
never
a-
saw the TV show,
she's-
but in the movie, she's like the pretty cheerleader girl that all of a sudden discovers that she can do that, right?
yeah, and what
Christy Swanson in
Yeah,
the
Christy
film, right.
Swanson. Yeah, and
Nice
in the,
work, Sean.
Oh, we all remember Christy Swanson. But she in the movie at least, yeah, she's kind of like this innocent cheerleader, and then you find out she's got this long lineage of being a vampire hunter.
Again, your classic kind of like hero.
Yeah. And what's
turn.
funny about that is they kind of, I thought they did a good job with the comedy versus the horror by mixing that she's this sort of bubblehead who then is thrust into this bigger supernatural world and is able to survive. But yet she's still kind of that character. Whereas in the TV show, I just felt that
Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Sarah Michelle Gellar is just dull.
Really? Really?
I don't find her interesting at all.
That's
You know, it had a-
criticizing the actress, not
Well,
criticizing
it did
No,
have
not
many.
necessarily,
It
no.
did have many seasons, Matt.
It did, and I understand how many people love this show.
Yeah, there are people that are fanatical about
Here's
it.
my problem with the show overall, which is that I never thought, like, it kind of tries to blend humor and horror, and I don't think it does a very good job at either. I would say, and I have revisited it a number of times, and I always find the side characters way more interesting than Buffy herself. Buffy is just kind of nothing, and I don't get
Does
it.
that not make her, as written in the script, an interesting hero? You're talking about the performance.
Well, no, not necessarily. Oh, I'm just saying Sarah Michelle Gellar. Well, let's call her Buffy then. And I just don't think that character was very well thought out. And look, I have not watched all 18 seasons of it, so I don't know if maybe finally they gave her moment to shine.
Well, maybe you should watch them before you have an opinion.
I'm just saying the ones that I kept going back to it, and I went back to the ones that everyone said were great, and I'd watch them, and I'd go, all right, well, it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything that I would say, wow, this is something that should be remembered for the ages.
So you felt that she didn't necessarily do any kind of self-sacrifice stuff that you would put like a hero put up on a pedestal like this is really heroic. You wouldn't put her up in that category.
And I also want to, and I really want to track back to what we were talking about earlier with versus the character and the actress playing her, which I think are almost intertwined. Because let's face it, Captain Kirk is Shatner. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it were another actor, it would be a whole different thing.
Well, it's like Chris Pine. I know how much Sue likes him.
There you go. Well, there you go. Right? And so Sarah Michelle
Fuck
Gellar.
the shit out of that. What?
See? You see?
I'm sorry.
You didn't think I remembered.
You're not leaving that in.
You didn't think I would remember that from our Star Trek show,
Did I
did
say
you?
that?
Yes, you did.
Look,
yes,
Chris
you did.
Pine, we all realize.
He's dreamy.
Yeah.
He's vagina candy. We all can
He's
agree.
vagina candy. But mostly in sci-fi and horror, there's more weenie candy than there is. Let's just Laura Croft Tomb Raider.
Okay, don't get off the subject here.
Why?
Now William
subject?
William Shatner, Captain Kirk.
Yes.
I bet. I mean, hey, he was.
If I was going to pick my favorite captain,
Yes,
guess which would it be?
William Shatner.
No.
Chris Pine.
Nope. Of course, Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh, Grandpa.
Jean-Luc Picard, that voice. It's like, make it so #1, and you're like, let's make it so.
Yeah, I'll
let's make
see you
it
in the
so.
holodeck.
Yeah. Engage this.
Okay. So, but getting back to Captain
Let's
Kirk.
go to the holodeck.
Okay.
That's what I call my
Captain-
vagina.
That is true, listeners, by the way.
Captain Kirk, great hero. He is a guy who I
yes.
definitely put on that pedestal because he
But if it were
thinks
played
about.
by anybody else, it would be a different character,
I
right?
totally agree with you,
Yeah,
Matt.
you're right.
William
The
Shatner. I mean,
performer-
Because Captain Pike wasn't a good hero.
That's true. I mean, Captain Pike, you could have put almost anybody else who was a woodenish kind of actor
Sure.
would have been fine in that role,
so
right?
we're talking
That's
about
probably
Jeffrey
true,
Hunter.
yeah.
Jeffrey Hunter, who was Captain Pike,
Who
who
was
was
the original one?
in the pilot,
Yeah.
The Cage.
Right.
Jeffrey Hunter
I
was
like that.
was mild enough to be cast as Jesus Christ in King of Kings. Can you imagine Shatner cast as Jesus Christ?
Yes, I can.
Blessed are the meek. Oh, they shall inherit the earth.
I rise again.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Okay, all right. This is.
Let me turn this water into wine.
Okay, guys.
And so with Jeffrey Hunter
I've never
as
done
Jesus,
Captain Kirk. I thought that was pretty.
that was
good.
pretty good. No, that
Thank
was
you.
pretty good. That was pretty good.
For a
But with
lady.
Jeffrey Hunter as Jesus, like watching that movie, it's like Jesus. I didn't realize he was kind of wooden.
Okay, do you have another hero?
I just want to. We haven't finished talking about Captain
let's
Kirk
move on.
yet. No,
Captain Kirk.
no.
We all know he's a hero.
Yeah.
Well, I want.
but it's an
look,
important
Sue.
one.
Sue, I want to
He's
give.
flawed.
But I want to give Captain Kirk his due. Okay, don't just toss him out like Kleenex. It's been used. I want to make sure that we talk about
Don't.
him. Okay.
All
So,
right.
The
Going
great,
after
now,
sort of lizard puss out there in the universe.
lizard.
Look,
Okay.
listen. You know, he's a dude. He's trying to make things happen. He's trying to, kind of make it work out with the aliens and stuff. But look,
Right.
his first thing is with the Prime Directive, but then save your ship. He always wants to offer himself before anyone else. He says, take me instead or whatever.
He's
And-
he's a deeply flawed character because there's a lot of moves where I go like, shouldn't you consult with somebody before you try this?
yeah.
Because
Wait, no, he's the captain, buddy. What do you think he's going to do? You think he's-
overturn an entire society.
Okay, wait. Are you saying
Maybe
he's
they
supposed
want to be run
he's-
by a computer.
So he's going to get on the phone. No. You're going to say he's going to get on the phone and go, "Oh, let me hold on."
They don't
before
have phones.
Before I make a decision, I got to call back to Starfleet Command. No, that's why, Matt.
He's fast and loose with the Prime Directive.
Exactly. I was going to say.
Okay,
Yeah. Every other episode, he breaks the prime.
You would
directive.
agree with that, Larry. He's
Exactly,
fast and
Sean.
loose.
Okay, let's go to James on this.
James?
I agree.
Hold on a second. Hold on, just a moment. Let's go to James.
I agree. Prime Directive.
Let's
Yeah,
go to James.
that's the best part of Star Wars, right? The Prime Directive.
Okay, Sue. No. No.
There's no way to get silence in this table.
Okay, no, Sue. I just wanted to say one thing about you. Say, oh, he's
Matt
will
fast
edit it
and
in.
loose. Okay, can I talk? Can I talk?
No,
for a second?
it's your podium.
Okay, what I was going to say.
You have the calm.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was William Wyndham.
Yeah.
Not a good captain.
Go ahead, do another impression. Go ahead,
Planet
get it out.
Eater.
No.
Why don't I
Larry,
get it out of my system.
Larry,
I can do it in about 5
I
minutes.
want to hear this. Go.
Okay, you guys say that he's fast and loose with the Prime Directive.
Yes.
Imagine, sir, all captains in their spaceships. They all encounter all these other planets. And yes, the Prime Directive is this main thing that they're all supposed to stick to.
Okay.
Things happen. Okay, things get messed up.
Shit happens.
Yes, and
In
look,
space.
well, I'm just saying, not everything is a perfect cookie cutter black and white situation. Okay, things happen. I wouldn't say fast and loose.
I would say
I
this.
think that's offensive.
That's why I
think-
want to build a Tholian web so none of the aliens can cross into our territory.
No,
I do
we're
like
better.
that.
Sorry, got
No,
political.
we are
Sorry, political.
We are
Sorry,
better.
let's put a Tholian web
No.
along the border along Mexico. That's what I want to do.
We are better with other aliens and other species on our planet, helping to work together to solve our problems.
Wait, can I argue this though? How about instead of
He said other species, so we're working with the Geico lizard at this
okay,
point.
all right, okay, I will play with whatever rules you throw at me.
Gecko, that would be a gecko. For those people, I'll answer the letters.
And they will send letters. But the idea that you have this captain who is going to change the entire politics or way a planet runs, how about just beaming up and getting the fuck out of there?
Okay. Are you gonna take a specific episode because you said well maybe they like to be run by computers. If you're talking about those two planets, that were battling each other with computers, and people would say, "Oh, I've been put
No,
aside."
I wouldn't say that one. You know why?
Why?
Because in that one, they are being threatened in a way that, like, it's life or death with them.
Right.
So it's almost like they're thrust in a situation like, look, I didn't want to do this, but for me to get the fuck out of here, I have to kind of do this.
And let me remind you, sir. Let me remind you that actually Spock says, did we kind of mess up the Prime Directive
and
here?
we're talking about
And-
a taste of Armageddon.
Yes, which is a great
It is a
classic
great one.
Star Trek episode. And Captain Kirk says,
I would doubt getting into one of those elevators. It's one of
yes.
those moments I'd be like,
Sue.
what floor are we going to?
yes, but
This
Sue, at the
seems
same
weird.
time, you have a strict sense of purpose. You think, okay, I've been targeted, so I'm going to get in that elevator because that's the way my society works. And what's great is Captain Kirk says to Spock, look, we've helped stop this war. I mean, they would have continued to go on killing people. I mean, I think we've helped them, create,
So now, instead of fighting each other, they have now made peace with each other, and now they turn against us.
No, that's not in the piece.
No, but that's what happened.
that
That's obviously
potential.
that's what's going to happen later.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that because there was no.
You know,
I
continuation
actually do.
of that.
I wrote the script for the next episode that was going to follow that.
Look. I'm just. Look.
Fan fiction.
The whole point here was you guys were throwing out this thing about,
That's when Spock
Captain
and
Kirk, is kind of loose with the Prime Directive. I'd say no. I'd say it's not black and white. Okay.
So
and
you're saying he's a hero.
I do.
You know what? I'll still stand by you with that opinion. I still think
by you.
Captain Kirk is one of the quintessential heroes of science fiction. I love him. I love him in almost any incarnation.
Yeah.
But especially in the original series, man.
Yeah.
He's the shit.
I'm with you, buddy.
All right, who's next?
James.
Yes?
Yeah, step to the plate, James, with whatever you want.
Do you have a bad one?
A bad one? Well, I had the Blair Witch.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess that's right.
I'll
Do you
give you
guys
a-
want to do a lightning round of going around, let's do a good and we can't comment?
Sure.
No.
See if we can get away with it?
I don't think so.
No, I'm not.
What fun would that be?
Okay.
I guess we want to comment.
All right. Well,
I do want to
I've
come.
got a good one.
I don't want you to say something and then have me not comment
No, but
on
it might be
it.
fun. It might be like one of those things where you just do it and you go, oh, and then you go on to the next one.
You don't know what this show is.
Okay.
Really. This is all about hurting each other's
Okay,
feelings.
well, this is such an elemental one. We can't do this show without it. But it's Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie in Halloween, the original. We've talked about it before. How can you not? But one of the things I love about her is that she faces off against Michael Myers. She survives, and yes, it's a case of protagonist just doing what you have to do to survive. But she does it by her wits and her bravery.
Yes.
And what I also really love about Laurie is that
And
she's
something that rhymes with wits.
There's that too. Trading places.
knits. She knits the knitting needles.
Yes.
Sure.
The fact that the other kids are fooling around and then they get victimized by Michael Myers. She doesn't fool around. She's sort of like the serious, thoughtful character. And as a kid, I mean, I was like 13 when I saw it. I identified with her.
But you think she's more of the hero than was Dr.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. So with
Absolutely.
Laurie is trying to survive, but she also really takes good care of those kids.
Right. She's
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
She's a babysitter.
Yeah,
takes
she's
a-
very
yeah,
heroic
right.
when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also love Dr. Loomis because Dr. Loomis is the hero because he's the one from the very start who's
Yeah.
trying to warn everybody
Yeah.
about Michael Myers.
But is he a successful hero? Because
Yes,
throughout every movie, he's still.
Well, he comes in at the end.
Oh,
He comes in at the end, and
Yeah.
and the fact that Michael Myers gets up again after he gets shot.
That's not his fault.
That's not his fault.
Right, but he doesn't learn.
He saves- at least he saves Laurie.
Sure, but in sequel after sequel, he keeps telling them, "Watch out for Michael. He's evil," and he keeps shooting at him. He knows he's not going to die.
But it's like, but that's like any kind of revolutionary who's trying to fight the good fight, and even if he loses, he's still heroic.
Right.
But
He's still
Sean,
trying,
he
I
is
guess.
he is moving forward. He is trying to be proactive, and he's trying to
I know
warn
he's
people.
trying.
It's not.
And
his
he's-
I
fault.
love the character, love the actor.
It's
I'm
not
just saying.
his. Donald
And he
Pleasance.
warns people from the very like before this kid is even, I think, out of puberty. He's warning people.
Right.
He's warning people like, look, this kid is bad. And like,
Right,
how many
right.
kids have you met in your life where you wish you could tell someone like, please, you got to watch this kid. I looked in
right.
his eyes. There's nothing but blackness.
It's
Right.
it's sad because he is this hero that it seems like people aren't taking seriously, or
Right,
it's
right.
and it's frustrating.
I think also it's the quality of the movies as they went on too, because he became just kind of a fixture. Like he was burned, he was like blown up. He's still coming on in that overcoat. No, we got to get Michael.
Yeah, and he says the same thing then over
Yeah.
and over again.
Right.
You know,
It's
he's
kinda
horrible. He's blackness. Again.
Right.
I've never seen it.
Are you
You know what,
serious?
Sue? I think you would actually like that movie, and I'll tell you
I do.
why.
I'm not big on horror movies.
Well, I'll
as
tell you why
well
though.
know.
Did you like Jaws?
Yes.
Imagine if instead of the shark, it's a person.
No, I
And it's
understand.
shot-
It's
it's
not
a-
like you can't live in this world without knowing what Halloween is.
No,
and
no,
knowing,
but I'm,
you know,
what
and
I'm
all this
saying
stuff.
though,
It's just that I'm just
is
not.
Halloween though. I would say is a step above the rest,
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and
Definitely.
it's not very bloody, and it's
No.
done with great artistry. And I mean, it's John Carpenter really at the height of his
Yeah.
talent.
Sure.
But I mean,
And-
I don't like I guess because especially now I think with the horror movies they keep one upping which can be gross, more violent.
Oh, sure. Nowadays.
And this is
more
not that.
torture, more that, and
That's
it
not at
turns
all
into
what-
torture porn, and I just
Yeah.
I don't
But
want
that's
those
not
images.
Halloween
I
at
just
all.
want to see
Alien-
that shit.
Or Halloween is nothing like that.
is nothing
I know,
like
I'm
that.
not
Yeah.
saying Halloween
Yeah.
is, but I
Right.
think that it seems to me that's the nature of
Well,
the way.
that's one
where
avenue.
horror-
It's almost
Of where some-
Hitchcockian in the
Yeah.
way that it's shot and
And even though
pacing.
I was the prime age for Halloween at the time, I was like 13, and all the slasher movies were coming out around then. But Halloween was the one I saw every Halloween at like a midnight show, and I loved it. I was so impressed by it. Years later, now I watch it, and I gotta say, you guys may disagree with me, but it does not hold up.
Okay, you're out of your
No.
mind.
I keep wishing that I was watching it again for the first time. So
Okay.
Sue,
I
Well,
don't.
that's
I don't
like
even
every movie
understand
you've ever
that.
All
seen the
right.
first time.
Before I
mean-
come back, I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right,
All right.
Or first time.
First.
There you go.
First time.
Before I come back, I'll watch it for the first time.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me.
Wait a minute. Hold on a sec.
Okay.
Okay. So before I come out, wait. Hold on a sec.
Wait. You want to run?
Oh, demon.
Our drunk
All right.
Foley.
All right, Chance. Before I come back, I'll watch it.
cool, and then we'll talk about it.
This is great. Okay. So let me,
Fifth take, Murphy.
so let me throw out. Okay.
I got
I've got
Go,
one. No,
go.
because I haven't gone yet. I've got
my
one.
God!
I've got one that I think you're gonna love.
What's that Harrison Ford bullshit?
No,
you threw
no,
out?
no, 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 no. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this one.
You had a Captain Kirk rant that went
and-
on for 8 years.
Yeah. But you're gonna love this one.
Oh, okay, go.
Great
I haven't
E.T.
talked in a long time.
Great
Let's all-
heroic person. In the first film, maybe somewhat of a victim, but she tries to get through it. She is successful, and then in the second movie, she just takes it on. And I'm talking about Ripley from
Oh,
both
she's the
Alien
best. No
and
argument.
Aliens.
Sure,
yes,
sure, yes, yeah.
played by Sigourney Weaver. First film directed
Well,
by Ridley
but
Scott
also
back in '79.
She, in the very beginning of that movie, though, in
Yes.
the very beginning, she's already kind of a pretty badass take charge character, too.
Well,
know?
if we're talking about the first film, she has to make it clear that there are two people ahead of her as far as being
Right.
captain of the ship.
But she's already standing her ground, which I like.
she is, yeah.
If she's standing her ground against what's his dipshit?
Ash,
yeah.
the science officer, and from the
And-
very beginning, you see there's a bit of tension. You know, she asks questions he finds irritating. You know, because like, why do you need to know
Right,
that?
right.
And he answers it kind of in a condescending way.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's almost like a lack of respect for her.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, and if that entire crew had just listened to her with everything that she suggested, it would have been fine.
Well, also
Right.
on Aliens, the same thing. Aliens,
which
she's
was
like she's saying
fantastic.
from the beginning, you don't know what you're dealing with.
Yes.
You don't know what you're dealing
Yes.
with. And
Right,
she drives
right.
them out of there. You don't know what you're dealing with. You don't like that, and then it has to end with a badass thing where she's doing the people mover thing. And
Yeah.
she's like,
Right,
I do love
fighting.
I do love in that movie that it's like, so she's now finally, rescued, and she's in the future.
Yeah.
And like literally like a week after she's back, we lost contact with the colony.
Right.
Don't
Timing
you know
is
what
everything.
We've done to these people. Oh, someone we just lost recently who plays a great character in that part.
Oh, yes, Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton,
Oh.
and he's great in that
Yeah,
movie.
he's
Just
great.
as a side note,
Not
just really miss that person.
Talk about a flawed hero.
Well, it's funny.
No,
he
but
does.
it's like,
He has.
it's
great
like,
character,
You
though.
guys were all gonna die. I just love that moment. You're reading
Right.
it wrong.
But-
No, I'm not reading it wrong.
But you know what's
Right.
cool about him? His character, he thinks he's this tough guy, and then oh my God, we're not prepared for this, and he
Right.
freaks out. But then he comes back. He does become heroic, and he does kind of make up for his flaws.
Yeah.
But getting back to Ripley, I mean, the funny thing is when I saw the movie from the very beginning, as the movie goes along, I didn't know that. As the film goes on, that she was going to be the one, the last person.
And as a true hero's journey, though, that's the kind of thing where like the true colors of the characters come out in extreme situations. They can either fold or they can fight back.
Also, she had that really tiny bikini underwear
Very,
when she got
very
into
tiny.
the suit.
That was actually the hero of the movie.
That was
Her underwear.
really tiny bikini underwear.
And I would
and the
say,
extreme low angle. that
and
they
just
had.
as a side tangent, but just as heroic, if not
Weren't very
more,
low.
just as heroic, if not more, would be Sarah Connor from the Terminator film. Because Sarah Connor,
bitches be bad.
even more humble beginnings. She's a waitress.
You're
Yeah,
right,
but she
Sean.
used to make
Saving
a
the
field
world.
dressing like
Yeah.
no one else.
And look where she progresses by the time we get to Terminator 2. I mean, that's a true hero's journey.
Wow. Yes. I would agree.
And she
I would
spent
agree.
a lot of time in the gym between those two movies.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Terminator 2, the way she ran down the hallway that her little toes bothered me.
Really?
I had no problem with that.
Yeah. She goes like this. Bink, 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 bink. It's too much.
When I go back and I watch the first Terminator film, I can't get past her hair.
Yeah,
I just
it's like
can't.
80s hair.
It is very AC.
can't do
Does
it.
it remind you of your hair during that period?
Oh
of
my
time?
God, no! I would not
Matt-
wish that on anyone.
Matt, that's from 84.
84.
It's 84. It's the
No,
it's
I know.
80s. It's the,
I'm not
it's
MTV,
blaming my friend.
I'm not blaming her.
Flashdance. Come on.
I'm
You know what?
saying
the hair
it's-
and the
it's an impediment.
spandex.
It's interesting that in the realm of sci-fi, which can be very misogynist in a lot of, you know what I mean?
What?
It could be that whole sort of sexed up this.
We
this.
love chicks.
Yeah, I know you love chicks and bitches.
no,
and
she's
chicks.
bringing up a good
Babes.
point.
But I mean, in the area of sci-fi, which can be extremely misogynist, that there are two. I mean, we've just named two really
Very
strong,
strong,
female
yes.
roles
Yeah.
that are complex.
Yeah.
And then have our real female heroes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or 3 if you count Jamie Lee Curtis.
Sure.
Well,
Jamie
I've-
Lee-
yeah.
But I mean, 1, 2, 3, then, and keep going. And
I've got another one.
Other horror movies where the woman is that way too.
True.
One of the greatest ones is Nancy from
on my list,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nancy Thompson played by Heather Langenkamp.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, Nancy's
Absolutely.
great, and Nancy. There's 2 incarnations of her.
Right.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, well, there's one in the regular continuity of the films, and when you get to, I guess it's 3 with Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors is where she truly becomes the hero.
Yeah, but the movie that I really love her in is New Nightmare. And
Oh,
New
yes.
Nightmare, you might enjoy this one because what it is, it takes place out of the reality of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. She plays herself
It's the actors and actresses playing themselves.
in the movie. So, like,
Yeah.
there's Robert Englund, who's an actor. And what happens is that the spirit that gave Wes Craven the idea for Freddy invades the real world, and she has to deal with him. And I think it's a really clever idea for a story, and she's wonderful in it.
Yeah.
And it was that movie that made me feel like, God, I wish we could have seen Heather Langenkamp in something else beyond that
Right.
series.
And she's great in the original too because again she's like a teenager who ends up actually
Very strong.
going head to head with Freddy.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to Dream Warriors, she's actually kind of training other kids
Right.
to learn how to fight against Freddy. So yeah, it's a good character, good hero for sure.
Yeah, I really love that character.
Nice one, Matt.
Thank
nice
you.
one.
What about Sharito Copley in District 9?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
He's
yeah.
I just like that actor. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Isn't that how his name?
I think so. Yeah.
It's-
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
And
But
so
District 9 as
about-
being a reluctant hero where all of a
reluctant,
sudden
yes.
he starts to understand in his transformation and starts to help the aliens
Right.
who have been, put in ghettos, and it's of course it's a immigration story and all that, and then he ends up being the hero of that movie and basically saving all of
and
them.
going through quite a transformation.
Transformation
literally.
himself, literally a transformation,
What
but getting for the mothership to take off to
Right.
potentially come back and save their people.
That's such a great movie. I
is a
really
great movie.
love that movie. And that director, what happened after that?
He made that really bad movie.
Which I always get the
Well,
name
this
confused.
this
of, like-
actor who I love was the only reason why the new A-Team was worth watching.
Oh, is that right? Ah. Who is he?
He played Murdoch.
Oh, okay. Wow. Really?
Yeah. No, but the director of District 9 ended up making Elysium.
Elysium. Elysium,
I like
right?
to call it Elysium.
No, that's all right. Who knows what it's
Well,
called?
what did you think of Matt Damon as a
And
hero in
Jodie
that?
Oh.
Jodie Foster.
That's a bad movie.
Jodie
That's a
Foster,
bad movie.
maybe that's the worst thing she's ever done.
I think so.
I really do
I
believe
really-
that.
I think that was a
agree.
paycheck film.
It was so horrible. And then
But what
followed-
about? I thought she was a hero in Nell. Oh, the Tay and the Ween. The Tay.
Clarice.
And frankly,
Yeah.
she
Clarice,
was a hero in The Accused. I mean, boy, you're really
No,
talking about taking
But in Silence of the Lambs, she
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a hero there.
But,
What about Contact?
Yes. Well, I mean,
I didn't think so. I didn't like her.
I didn't like that movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was dull.
Disappointing movie.
but she's still moving forward. She's being proactive.
Sure.
She's sticking to her guns.
True.
You know.
Okay, I got one. This is definitely a tragic hero, a hero that pretty much literally saves the world. Very heroic. This would be Johnny Smith, Christopher Walken from The Dead Zone.
Yeah, totally.
Because talk about a situation where, after an
Really
accident,
tragic
and after
hero.
an accident, he realizes by physical contact he can see into people's future.
That's my story.
So of course, what happens is the senator played by Martin Sheen, Stilson,
Right.
is
Running for
and
president.
president. He happens to shake his hand during an appearance.
Very egotistical, megalomaniacal candidate.
Yeah. Anyway, so and of course he realizes that Stilson is going to cause the end of the war. It's going to
Yeah.
be a nuclear war.
Yeah,
And he's going to start
because
it.
of Stilson.
Christopher Walken
So,
sees
I think
this
it was because he
future.
read his Twitter account.
The fact that he saw
That isn't
Twitter.
it? No.
he saw Twitter in the future.
Yeah,
Back in
it's
the
pretty
80s.
impressive.
But of course, in that situation, you have who's going to believe you? That,
Right.
No, I shook his hand. I know he's going. So of course he realizes he's on his own. He has to go try to kill this guy.
He decides
So
to be an assassin.
It's like heroic taxi driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
true.
kind of. Yeah. So I mean, it's very tragic what happens, but I mean, it's like he's taking it upon himself. He's thinking beyond himself.
Yeah.
That he has to go and do this, otherwise the world will end.
Yeah, and it's really great. It's really great.
Very good.
Think about it. He knows what this means. He realizes
Right.
that this could be his destruction, but he has to do it to benefit all of mankind.
Right.
Well, he
And-
doesn't have too much to live for by that point because he's been in this coma. His girlfriend, Brooke Adams, has moved on and married somebody else. And she's got a kid. But one of the things I love about that is that in the beginning, he's this mild-mannered school teacher, and he's got, his hair down in bangs, and he's just kind of wimpy. And then after the accident, and after he wakes up and comes around and becomes clairvoyant,
He's Chris Walken.
He's Chris Walken.
Yeah.
He's got the wild hair. He's all intense.
The ice is gonna break.
That's a very powerful scene.
Yeah, it's
that's
awesome.
really cool.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's a good one.
That was on
That's
my
a
list
good choice.
too.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice one, Sean. I like
Thank
that.
you.
Is Frankenstein the hero of Frankenstein?
That's a good question.
I would say
No.
the monster, the
No.
creation.
No, I mean,
is
don't
could
be,
No.
rude to
He-
people who are made up of other parts of
No, wait a
bodies
minute.
or
He
whatever.
throws a little girl into the pond, into the
Yes,
river.
but he is
She
a-
had it coming.
Not
But
out
he
of
is a benevolent creature.
And not out of
he is
malice.
Benevolent.
gentle.
He's-
He's a gentle creature.
He's
It's
not a
his
gentle
fault.
creature.
No,
No,
he is a
he's confused.
He's
He
a
doesn't know-
victim.
He's a victim.
Yeah, imagine an infant that has all this power who
he
just
confuses-
doesn't know
Yeah.
how things work.
Yeah, but
He
he's
throws
not
the
a.
girl. He throws the girl into the pond because
On
he mistakes
accident.
her
He
because
thinks he's
throws
having fun
petals-
with her.
Petals
Yes.
in the pond. He doesn't know the difference.
But guys,
That's my story.
You know,
He's
it's like
not-
it's mice and men. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
yeah.
Well,
but
I don't know
not,
if it was.
He's not a hero.
Well, no, he's
I think
he's a victim.
Yeah, and I
He's
would
a
say,
victim.
And that's a
the
different
doctor
show
is-
for
the
our
doctor isn't the hero
victims
either.
show.
Oh, that should be that's a
Ooh,
good one.
That's a
Victim.
good one. Victim's good or
I don't know.
bad.
Let's
I just
change it
threw
to
out
that.
there. I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was
like
an
that.
interesting idea.
Wow, you
Although-
blew our minds.
On that topic, what was on HBO this weekend? Victor Frankenstein with James McAvoy.
I have not seen that.
You know what? Not that bad.
Really?
I was like, wow, this
Does
is
it follow
actually
his?
watchable.
Can it just mostly focus on his?
It's all
from
about
his point of view.
It's
His
all
life.
about Igor. Actually, it's from Igor's point of view, played by the Harry Potter kid,
Marty Feldman.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, and it's actually, and McAvoy is
Don Rickles.
suitably eccentric and power mad, and it actually worked.
I love McAvoy.
Huh,
Yeah,
I'm
McAvoy's
curious.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually worth it. Victor Frankenstein. I thought it was
Penny Dreadful. Did you ever watch that? Victor Frankenstein and that. I can't remember the actor's name, but that was a good show that it had like 2 seasons, and it was damaged by the fact that it just all of a sudden had to wind up in 4 episodes.
Oh yeah.
This is another podcast. Shows that people don't, not everyone has seen, explaining why you should watch them.
We have done one like that actually called Horror Obscura.
horror obscure.
Yeah.
But,
So,
but it
nice
doesn't
try,
have to be
Sue.
obscure. But it doesn't have to be obscure. I mean, I think that Taboo is an interesting, if you've seen that with Tom Hardy. Have you watched any of that?
I've watched about 5
No, I've not seen
episodes,
any of
and I'm. You know what? I'm not entirely captivated by it, but I am interested, and I do want to see the rest of it.
Yeah.
Are those episodes like an hour and a half or
I don't
something?
know. It's
They're-
time consuming.
They're
I
a
have no
little
idea
long.
why they're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And The Handmaid's Tale is supposed to be fantastic.
I do
It's
want
on
to see
Hulu.
that. Yeah, I do want to see that.
Anyway, but this is another thing.
Have you
It's all
seen
out.
Legion, by the way?
No.
Oh, you got to see Legion.
I literally have not seen anything because what I have a tendency to do is watch sports, and I'm sorry to ruin the thing,
Okay.
but
All right.
we're in the
Well,
middle
that's
of
our
the NBA
show.
playoffs.
Sports heroes.
We could go on and on.
Well,
None of this.
All right.
None of
Throw
this
some
applies
more.
to this.
Okay, how about a lightning round?
Yes.
How about we just
I
do
have several.
You
Yeah.
turned down my idea of a lightning
Well,
round.
now we're taking it.
Now it's
okay.
time for a lightning round. One of my favorite heroes, Richard Benjamin in Westworld, because again,
that's a great
That's a
one.
good one.
just surviving. He's this sort of schmuck who's brought into this resort by his friend James Brolin, and he doesn't really want to get into the spirit of it. And then things go awry.
He truly has to rise to become a
then he-
hero.
yeah.
Yeah.
James Brolin?
James Brolin is his friend who brings Richard Benjamin to Delos, the amusement
Yeah.
park.
Right.
He's like his cool friend.
Right.
Right.
Richard Benjamin, not as cool by any means, but then he has to rise to the occasion just to survive, and I love him in that.
He is great. I really love that choice. That's a great one.
Okay. How about for me? I'm going to throw this out for horror. How about Ash from the Evil Dead
course.
franchise?
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Done.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, and of course the great series Ash versus Evil Dead. Here's a
That-
guy.
yeah.
Look, he is flawed. He does have issues.
But
delightfully so.
Definitely
Yes.
from the first movie, just a lovable schmo who
Yeah.
just got thrown into this world, and look at how he's progressed.
Yeah.
And how he's
Yeah.
transformed.
And that's a really great character when it comes to development.
Yeah.
The more we
Yes.
learn about him and the different ways that he's progressed throughout the movies and the series, I love it.
Here you get this guy who I mean, his friends get killed all within this cabin, and these Deadites come out, and he takes upon himself to kind of battle them in the first one and the second one, and it's just a great series, and I love the TV series. So Ash.
But is the TV series cast with someone else?
No, he's playing the same character.
It's because I don't know. I'm confused by a couple different things.
There are
when I
extra
watched.
cast members.
Yeah.
But he's the main
Who joined
But
with
he's the
guy.
main- but
Yeah.
no,
And it's a
no, no, no,
continuation of
listen,
his
we'll
story.
discuss this offline. Go ahead. Go.
I have a few. We have to get
Go,
my system
go.
here.
Go, Sean,
Of course,
go.
of course, Professor Van Helsing.
Oh,
Of course.
yes, of course.
on my list as well.
His many
Which one?
Which
his
one,
many
though?
incarnations, but of course, probably his most popular one is Peter Cushing.
Yes, from the Hammer
That
horror
is
films.
correct,
Yeah.
my friend.
Yes.
I mean-
For me, that is the definitive Van Helsing.
I agree.
I-
Agree.
I can't think of another one that's better.
No.
Yeah,
Or
I
or
agree.
comes or even comes close.
Not even
I mean, Edward Van
close.
Sloan.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
yeah.
Peter Cushing brought elegance to the role,
And it was like a
brought
swashbuckling
intelligence.
kind of, even a swashbuckling kind of
Yeah,
element a little
he-
bit too.
he was-
It's like-
Conviction. He was so convicted.
Yes.
Yeah, and even though maybe as an actor himself he wasn't that virile, especially towards the end,
Yeah.
he came off that way.
Yeah.
He was always up for a fight. When
There
it
were 3 films.
needed
There were
it.
Brides of Dracula, 1960. Or Dracula.
That's my favorite, by the way.
1958.
Brides of Dracula.
Also, Dracula AD from 72.
72
Yeah.
AD,
Descendant.
Satanic
still,
Rites of
but
Dracula.
yeah, Satanic Rites of Dracula. But I agree
Absolutely.
with you.
I suggest for any of our listeners, watch Brides of Dracula. Watch Horror of Dracula and Brides of Dracula back to back, and that is a really good time.
Yeah.
And along the same lines, though, I would like to mention Peter Vincent, played by Roddy McDowell.
Another great one.
Fright Night. because
Absolutely.
Here's an actor playing a Van Helsing type character, he realizes that vampires are real, and now he has to actually really fight monsters.
Yeah.
He has to drum up the courage to
He's
do so.
reluctant at first, but
Yeah,
then
he's cowardly really
he
at first.
He
He
finds
finds-
it within himself.
He's a
Exactly.
TV actor. He's a horror host.
Right. He's an actor turned horror host because he can't get any more roles.
Right.
Right.
Great character.
Yeah.
Got to throw out Roddy Piper from They Live.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, talk about just a working class blue collar stiff, who's thrust into this war that is much bigger than him.
Yeah.
With aliens who are infiltrating society, taking over the advertising, and he literally saves the day.
Yeah, and great lines.
Yes.
And just
Great
yeah.
character.
Nice job, Sean.
All right.
Matt?
Well, here's a couple bad ones.
Okay.
Buckaroo Banzai. Hate him.
Really?
Hate the movie.
I don't know why you hate that movie.
I hate
Bad.
hate
that
him.
movie.
Hate the movie. Stupid.
He's a good hero, though.
No, he's terrible.
a rock and roll
He's-
star.
no, he's
a
a
surgeon.
scientist.
It's so forced. It's one of those movies that they were trying to make a cult film.
Right.
And it feels that way.
It is, but it is a cult film, though, Matt.
I know, and
you.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so is Goonies, and that sucks too. So, but that's a terrible movie, and that's a terrible hero.
I wish they made Buckaroo Banzai Part 2. Buckaroo Banzai
only
against,
you
against
and
the world crime.
the handful of fans that love that fucking piece
You got
of shit.
Okay, you got a second one.
Okay, another terrible one. We've discussed this before, but I need to hammer this home. Rick Grimes, please die.
No.
In The Walking Dead.
No.
Die, please.
No,
Die.
Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead,
Walking Dead.
series on
Please
AMC.
die.
I want you to keep going, buddy. Keep going.
No.
I think you're a great hero.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
I want a Negan show.
All right. Sue, you want to bring us home?
No, I'm not done yet,
I'm sorry.
motherfucker.
Done? What's happening?
Okay, I want to do one because I thought Sean was going to bring this one up, but he didn't.
I know what you're talking about.
And so it's Professor Bernard Quatermass.
Absolutely.
Who is a great hero. And he was in a series of, this is Nigel Neal created this character, and it was for BBC television, and they did a bunch of television versions of these stories that were later made into films. And the first one that was a film was called The Quatermass Experiment, and then it was followed up by Quatermass 2, Enemy from Space, and these starred Brian Dunleavy. Brian Dunleavy, not so
okay,
good.
though, but yeah.
It's fine, but it's not so
But
good.
he's not British.
No. And it just doesn't, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Andrew Keir in Quatermass the Pit, a.k.a. 5 Million Years to Earth. Now this is 1967, Hammer, and Andrew Keir is so great. It's the Quatermass that you have been waiting for, and it's a kind of a classic scenario of the smart scientist who is passionate, who is trying to tell the military-industrial complex how, something bigger than what you think is happening is happening.
Well, yeah.
And in this case, it's a thing that they find buried under a subway that they think is an unexploded bomb, but it's actually a Martian spaceship. Mm-hmm. And he's telling them, no, there's something different about this thing, but no one will believe him. And then, of course, the shit hits the fan.
And what's great about that character is that it's not too many times you see like a real hardcore scientist character as
Yes.
the hero. Like, I mean, this is
I
this
love
is-
that.
He doesn't believe in the supernatural. He doesn't believe like in religion. He's all about science and finding the truth. And many times those kind of characters, especially in the 50s, were seen as the kind of crazy bad guy.
Yes.
But he is the hero. He's
And
a
what's-
scientist hero, which I love.
And what's great about Quatermass in the Pit is that there's this nice fine line between supernatural and science.
Right.
Supernatural events that were happening in this area where this pod is actually caused by the alien spaceship.
Right, right.
And I love that. There, you dig deep and there's a scientific reason for what's happening.
That's
I love
nice.
it.
Right.
That's nice, Matt.
So there you go.
Sue, come on, bring us home. Bring us home.
Okay, I'm going to do it really quick because I don't have a long explanation for it. Scarlett Johansson and Lucy. I think is a good hero.
okay.
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I think that was interesting. I'd say Clive Owen and Children of Men. Fantastic.
That's a great
And
one.
He basically saving humanity and getting the baby through.
Yeah.
And that last moment where he dies in the boat, or we think he dies.
I think that's kind of an underrated movie too.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
it is.
phenomenal
Yeah,
movie.
it's so
That's
good.
a really good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. I wrote down Ash of Evil Dead, but of course.
Hey.
Down there. George Clooney in Dusk Till Dawn. As a
that's an
Flawed hero.
Yeah,
Flawed
yeah,
hero.
really flawed hero,
Yeah.
but,
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course you have to have the bad acting.
Right.
Well, yeah.
No,
yeah.
Quentin Tarantino once again, graces the screen to have us. And then I probably would add in. I thought it's interesting. The Little People in Time Bandits as
That's interesting.
Hey.
That's a good choice.
That is a good choice.
I
like
like
that.
the Little People in Time Bandits as heroes. They kept
Yeah.
going. They kept
Yep.
going.
Yep.
They were a mob. It was like one brain constantly talking, constantly working, but they kept like going, we're going to go somewhere else. We're going to go somewhere
Right.
else. And they ended up in these horrible situations, and they would just go, okay, we're going to jump from cage to cage
Yeah.
in this weird space,
Yeah.
or we're
Right,
going to
right.
push this wall. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. So I think they were really great heroes.
Yeah,
They were, yeah, very smart.
That is a good one, Sue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice.
That's a good one.
Oh, we have to really quickly. We have to mention iconic old-fashioned heroes: Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers, from the old days to the current stuff. But I mean, your classic kind of archetypes. Space opera heroes.
Sean, I had them on my list, but the one thing that we can learn from this is we could go on and on.
That's
We're
true.
going to have to do this again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I just think I just said 3 movies that we had none of you had even thought about even existing, and you guys have done the same thing.
This is a great topic. And we might have to have you back for round 2. How about that?
No, I don't feel
No?
comfortable with that. But thank you very much.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, Sue, thank you so
We'll have
much.
you back for the What's Wrong with Us episode.
Sue, Sue, thanks so much for being with
James
us.
didn't get to do the lightning round.
I
Oh,
did.
yeah,
I did.
he
That,
did.
that was Westworld for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I just
But
wanna
I-
make sure okay.
We
just wanna
care.
make sure.
We care about you, James.
We do.
Aw, thank
Sue,
you.
thanks for being with us tonight. We really enjoyed having
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
My
thank you.
pleasure.
Is there anything going on that you want to tell us about? You want to pitch or
No.
look for? Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, be sure to check that out. Please come back.
As you know, I only do this for my own entertainment. It's not for anything else.
Yeah.
Not for the fame and glory. No.
She does it for
Wow.
the food and the booze.
Yeah, you should. Boy, you just walk around Monster Palooza. You're going to be mobbed.
I got the hat out of it.
That's true. Yes. Well, there's more where that came from.
because these headphones are starting to give me a headache.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, then we'll
no, they're
end
not.
it.
Wait a minute. Let's take that back. This is fantastic. Thank you so much.
The end.
Time for listener shout out.
Who do we got today?
This goes out to Jim Damon from Weberville, Michigan.
Jim Dammit?
Jim Damon.
That's a
Dammon.
Dammon.
Damon.
I was about to
That
say
was Toby. Damn it.
Jim Dammit sounds like a good hero name, doesn't it?
It does. Hey, Jim.
I'm Jim Dammit.
Damn it, Jim.
Jim has the classic Mecha Godzilla as his Facebook avatar. And he is a self-described Christ follower, husband, father, teacher, and friend.
Well, how about that?
Cool.
Jim is an adult transition services educator at Livingston Educational Service Agency in Michigan.
All right.
He's also the proud owner of a Monster Party cap.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
At least I think he is, because it was ordered by a Brianna Damon, who I can only assume is Jim's loving wife, who probably bought it for him as a gift.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, it does
Wow.
make a great anniversary present. And you can
Monster Party, keeping couples together.
find the Monster Party. And Jim, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you,
listening.
Jim.
Thank you for your support.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. And you can find the Monster Party cap at our eBay store, which is Monster Party Store. Easy to remember. It's got 18 billion stitches,
No,
which makes it the
no.
most intricately stitched cap in.
It has lots of stitches, but not 18 billion.
Okay.
The story I heard about the cap is that it is the pinnacle of cap technology.
Well, it is a great high quality cap. I just want to say that.
It is indeed. And let's also remind our listeners, you can find us on Facebook and YouTube at Monster Party TV. Find us on Twitter at Monster Party HQ, Instagram, Monster Party HQ. We are now on Google Play Music for those of you with Androids. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, please take a moment and write a review. We would love to hear from you.
We would like to hear from you.
Yes, write a review. Write long ones.
Yeah.
Send them to me.
And
Make them into tapestries.
yes, make them in tapestries. I mean, we love listening from our fans, from our listeners, and we love your support. And we also are really appreciative of the support we get from several stores who have generously put our flyers in their store, put us on their newsletter. Like Creature Feature. Hey! Located at 2904 West Magnolia Boulevard in beautiful downtown Burbank, California. I mean, you have 3 great guys, Taylor White, Eric October, and Matthew Abrams, who run that store. They also have an eBay store. Creature Features. You check them out. They have all your monster needs. It's just a fantastic
And they
place.
do some wonderful art shows.
They really do.
Really go to their website and look at the upcoming shows that they have. If you live in the area, it really is a good time to go to these shows and see wonderful themed artwork.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And even if you don't live in the area, you should be able to find and maybe buy some of the prints from those.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true. Yes.
that's true,
Yeah,
yes.
very much so.
Yeah.
And then I just want to throw this out because these guys have been absolutely terrific with us. I'm talking about Time Tunnel Toys. Time Tunnel Toys. These guys are great. They're at 1583 Meridian Avenue in San Jose, California. And these guys they're so great. These guys specialize in vintage toys.
Ooh.
And Joe, who runs the store, and Sharon, they do an amazing job of finding just all kind. It's like if you were to take eBay and throw it all in a store, things behind glass. I mean, I love it. But not only that, they have a great store, but they also they put on these toy shows in San Jose that happen to every like 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, it's cool because a lot of it is like much older stuff sometimes.
I wanna go to
real,
one of
real
those.
vintage stuff, which you don't see a lot of.
No,
nowadays.
and I went to the last one, and I just had an absolute blast. They had Sam Jones from Flash Gordon there as a
Cool.
guest signing autographs, along with a bunch of other people. But I couldn't believe how much vintage toy stuff was there.
cool.
But if you guys want more information, you can check them out at www.timetunnelnews.blogspot.com. I know it's kind of long, but if you go there, check it out. It'll give you all the information about their toy shows. Fantastic
Cool.
place. Thank you. Thank you, Joe and Sharon, for being so supportive of
Larry,
Monster Party.
did you ask Sam Jones if he wanted to be a guest on Monster Party?
I didn't get a chance to do that, sir. The line was way too long. So I only
Well,
had
maybe Time Tunnel Toys can reach out.
I think so.
Awesome.
On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
I am Larry Stroth.
I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong.
Watch horror and sci-fi movies with good and bad heroes. Except for Rick Grimes. Let's make this a drunky episode.
I don't know about a drunky episode.
It already is.
I don't know about that.
I better get started.
I am going
What are
to.
what are you drinking? How's my levels there, Matt?
Oh, I like. Oh, wait a minute.
How is my level?
I like that.
You like this level?
That's a good level.
okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's all right.
And you
Okay.
can adjust the level of the mic stand too, if it or pull it forward
No, I like to lean in like it's a really important thing. What I'm saying.
to get that nerd hunch.
I like-
That's so trademark.
like I've been just photoshopping for the last hour.
right. You've been you've been
yeah.
downloading code.
Doing a lot of coding.
Wow. I am going to
10-4, Eleanor. 10-4. No?
I am now putting a cubicle around you.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Here we are.
And I'm gonna make sure I listen to what you have to say.
Well, Larry,
don't wreck the show.
Why are you ruining it already?
No.
You know what?
No,
You know what?
because
Hold on one second.
you have valuable opinions, and sometimes I think what happens is I just react instantly. No. Okay, no, Sue, no. Okay, no.
Come back.
Everything's fine. I'm just gonna go get a shot of whiskey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. Let me get past your flag.
It is a backdrop, not a flag.
All right. Luckily, I
Yeah.
know where the shit's kept.
It's not to hide the kitchen. It's to keep the kitchen in.
Yeah, it's just when the
You're
photo
sitting
is
on a tribble.
it's just that when the photo is taken, it's much nicer to see like Monster Party instead of kitchen.
Yeah.
With sink.
No, I think you're right. I agree with you, Larry.
Thank
I couldn't
you.
agree with you more.
Thank you.
That as feat, I think that you've really done it.
As a professional, you agree.
Aestheticist.
Yes. And that's why we have our pumpkin ghost.
Okay.
With
I got-
his
this Monster
fur.
Party hat is not really cooperating. Okay, there we go. Now I'm in.
There you go. You're in the-
You look
No,
fantastic.
I gotta wear the monster. I gotta get my game
You
on.
can use it as a prop. Yeah, you can put it on your shoulder like you're a falconeer.
Tranya, I hope you relish it as much as I.
Oh yeah.
There you go. We're trying to get him on the show too, by the way.
Working on it.
What?
Jameson?
Clint Howard.
Howard. No, we really want to get Clint Howard.
Jameson?
Jenna Jameson? No. There's no reason to get her on.
Okay, I'm ready. What's happening? Larry's making notes.
I am making notes.
He's making notes. He saw my cheat sheet. He
No,
saw
no, no,
that Allison gave me a scarf.
For this show,
Mike,
be
this
less
is
of
my-
an asshole.
No, I don't have. I actually I do have that written down.
He's keeping minutes.
Less of an asshole.
In quotes.
You know, the fact is, this is yet another subject that does not fit into one podcast.
No.
no,
True,
and that's
right.
that's our
This is
favorite.
a-
So
yeah.
it's like, no matter what you do, you leave them wanting more.
Right.
Because there's too much to cover.
It's too much to cover.
much.
Yes.
It's very big.
Too much. Huge.
Huge.
So let's get started with not enough.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Sue, you're set.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
good?
set. I'm here.
Okay.
I've got my cola. I've got a Diet Coke.
Excellent. Okay. All right. We're all fluided up.
I'm fluided up.
Let's start this.
I've got my
Phones on.
precious
Oh, my phone.
fluids.
Oh, yes, I turned my
wait a
phone
moment.
off.
Damn it.
Hurry.
Ooh.
I'm going to go recycle. Shit.
Recycle.
You should recycle. The fact that you don't
Recycle.
recycle is disturbing.
Put the prunes away. Recycle. Recycle.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you tie your bag, you think someone's going to go, let's untie that bag and go through his trash and find a
Little
bottle.
recycle gremlins who take care of it.
Let's talk about how important it is to recycle, because it really, really is.
You know, Larry, thank you for expanding on that.
You know what I did do at your urging?
Sue's
So I
urging.
had the what is it? Exfoliating wash.
Yes.
And you
Oh,
said
yeah.
don't get that, right?
you can't get
and
that
so
stuff.
so now I just got the loofah pad.
Yes, because you understand those little micro
The little
beads.
balls. I didn't
Those
realize
little
that.
microfeeds go in through wash, and they wash out to the ocean. And
Oh,
Wait. What is? What?
It's those little plastic microbeads that are in
Yeah,
those
yeah.
In
those
exfoliating,
things.
like body wash.
They're made of plastic, and they're little tiny
No.
Yes, and they wash through the drain. They don't get caught. They don't get filtered
Yeah,
out.
there you
They
go.
go out in the ocean. Fish think they're little microbeads because they eat on that. They
Right.
feel that they
Ah.
eat plastic. It kills the fish. It goes. They're
Wow.
horrible.
Why don't they-
There's
So
a
I listened to you.
huge
I-
amount of them
Yeah.
swirling.
I did
around
not
the
know
ocean.
that.
Yeah.
Because they become reflective in the water and
Right,
fish
right,
eat
right,
them, and It's
right.
bad.
Wow.
Bad. They're trying to ban them. They're banned in products in California now. I think.
So
They're
wait.
trying to ban them across everything. Trying
It's
to get 'em-
body wash?
Body
You know those
wash.
things
Yeah,
where
like
they
those
say
little
the
beads.
microbeads. You know, you see a commercial, the microbeads.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have that at our house. Micro beads. No.
You might. Your wife
No,
might.
no.
Well,
You have
I know
micro-
she likes
you
to
have micro
slough. I
nuts,
know
but
she
not
likes to slough off that
d-
excess dead skin.
Does it? No.
Yeah, no, we talked about it the last
She
part.
some-
She
No, I
said,
don't
I
remember.
love
She'll-
to
she'll eat
slough.
them sometimes,
I
right?
love to slough.
I don't remember her saying that.
Won't she
Okay.
find
Oh, no,
them? She often finds them shiny and then wants to eat them.
You know, that was probably after you and I talked about ET, and I stormed away or something.
Yes, you did. You did storm away. You were You were.
Let's put that all behind us.
But you know, like I said, I've given some good thought to our ET discussion.
And you realized it was
All
a
right.
horrible film.
No. If you recall,
The topic is breaking
By the way,
point.
It's
By the way,
it's
third show we've kicked off with
Yeah,
yes,
second
yes.
show we covered
Move on.
No,
we're
it's-
good. I'm
it-
just doing that to provoke you,
Oh,
Larry.
is that
Yeah.
what you're doing?
Yeah,
Our
yes.
fourth
Now,
show with
Sue.
you will be just titled "Hurt Feelings."
Now, Sue, that's not very nice. I mean, you know, because ET, I think you said no one said they hated it. It was just overrated.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
It's still a very
Done.
good film.
Wow.
Very well done.
I'm just happy to see you guys
I didn't
talking.
believe that Halloween costume for a second.
You didn't? I thought that was
that kid's head wasn't that big.
Well,
like all of a
you know,
sudden he's wearing a fucking foam helmet under that thing.
but
Larry.
I thought she thought
Oh,
it was
he
her
looks so
hair.
Cute. Pose for a picture.
That was
no,
that was a
it's
touching
bullshit.
scene.
No, it was darling. Yeah, all of a sudden my daughter's walking with a waddle and has the head the size of a watermelon. Anyway, let's go on.
It wasn't a size of a watermelon.
I want to see that movie.
I thought that was very touching. I was very
All right.
touching.
All right.
I
All
loved
right.
it.
Dry your tears, Goldilocks.
Let's go.
You know, the next time you come, I'm going to have a bunch of my ET figures here, just so they
Because
can.
that'll
all,
show her.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Put you in your place.
That's an idea. Give me props. Good
Yeah.
idea.
That's it.
And I can
Yeah.
show you how stupid
Yeah.
it looked. No, I love that movie. It's really wonderful. I'm sorry it, turned Drew Barrymore into an alcoholic and a drug addict. Because it was so,
that's true.
No,
Yeah.
I don't
Ouch.
think that film is the reason why.
That is
And-
what
It's
she
one of
said.
them.
No,
She
but-
said it in many
Yeah,
But,
interviews.
but you know what? I will say this. Look at her now. A very
Look at her
successful
now.
producer.
Yeah, she's making that shitty show.
Santa Clarita Diet. You seen that piece of shit?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
come
is
on
horrible.
now.
Talk about a bad horror movie hero /
Holy fuck.
TV show.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Okay.
Didn't the
Someone should
Hollywood
tell her,
Reporter-
too, that she's not 16 anymore and
She's
she
not
doesn't have to talk
16.
that way.
Okay, so everyone's jumping on that. I just want to point out to you,
Tonight's
Mr.
episode, we hate Drew Barrymore.
No, we love Drew Barrymore. No, I want to point out. No, I just want to point out to Mr. Reality Show over here that
Mr. Reality
that
Show.
it's really difficult to get these shows created, and
course.
she's got one up on the air, man.
Okay, so-
Yeah, kudos to her for that.
Yeah, but get one that's
Good,
worth
great.
watching.
Yeah,
Anyway, moving
yeah.
on. Are we going to
right.
start this?
Yes,
We are.
please. Let's do it.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up and let me start this.
I just don't want to jump on ET all the time.
Okay. All right. All right. Deep breath. Ouch.
E.T.'s a piece of shit.
Are you going to let her get away with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's everything I can do to not pile on.
You know what? I will say this. She is our guest, and
Yeah.
you may have the last word.
Okay.
You may have. Go ahead. Go ahead. You say it again. Go ahead. It's not going to affect me.
Overrated.